WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it's Friday morning. Good morning. We have a whole bunch to squeeze in here today, but let's start with the Trump mugshot. Did you check that out? Did you see it? What do you think?
I did. I will tell you this. I don't know if somebody made reference to it on the show or if somebody texted me and it was something that happened off the air, but the Rudy Giuliani text message has been mocked up to make him look like the original Penguin.
You mean the photo? The mugshot?
Yeah, the mugshot.
Yeah.
What'd I say?
Text message, but still, that's okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I had gotten a text message, threw that in there. Yeah, so I forget, who was the character who played... He was the same one who was the coach in Rocky. What's his name? Meredith?
Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith, yeah. And they mocked it up with the pink hat, the long cigarette with the cigarette holder, the eyeglasses. And I'm telling you, with the scowl Giuliani has, he looks just like him.
Wow.
And it was captioned, wah, wah, wah. So the Trump mugshot was your question. I did see that. He also had a scowl on his face, and I heard in the news this morning, he said it was very uncomfortable to get my photo taken, especially considering I didn't do anything wrong. Now, the other part of the quote
I have to say, he has never, ever done anything wrong.
Well, yeah, and...
I mean, you never surrendered, right? And that's he actually he put out his first tweet in over, 2 or 3 years since he was initially banned. He tweeted last night.
So here's what I found interesting. The quote that they read on Fox at the top of the hour update was, I thought the election had been stolen. And I was trying to get the votes, or I was trying to get it back, or whatever it was. But that part doesn't matter. I thought, past tense, that the election had been stolen from me.
So now it's not I think, it's I thought.
I'm wondering if that is because they didn't play the clip. It was the Fox host there basically reading what Trump said after he was let out on bond. And how about that? Consider some of the stuff that goes on in New York, and there's really very limited bond. Anyway, that a former president was actually booked and has an inmate number.
Yeah,
it's shocking to me. Anyway, you thought, so you don't think that anymore? I think that's an interesting clarification.
I don't know how you read into it. I don't know, but I can say this, that the mugshot was very designed. A lot of people talking about the mugshot. It's specific in the way it had to be like, okay, hold on a second, hold on. Let me get this face. It reminded me of, who's the actor there, the actor from New England that was in the ice skating movie? And he had the face like, it was, I don't know, was it like Dark Ice or something, where it was like, you missed my face. You got to look at the face. It's important. Do you remember that movie? Where he had the look, and everybody had to wait. The camera people had to wait until he turned around. He had to get it set and get into it, and then it was... he had the look. What was the name of that ice skating? It was like the figure skating movie. And Will Ferrell was in it, and boom. Somebody will know who it was. I can never remember. Huh?
Willie
Okay,
would.
so
Willie's coming up in a little while, too.
You're talking about Blades of Glory. Was it
Blades of Glory.
Was it Will Arnett or John Heder?
Neither one. Maybe it's not Blades of Glory.
Craig Nelson?
No, it wasn't Blades of Glory then. He was the greatest skater of all. Somebody will get it. Call Davey with it if you could. The greatest skater of all. Anyway, this was a very, very pronounced photo and designed. It is going to raise him money. There's no doubt about it. They're putting it around. It is going to be it's going to raise a lot of money for the defense fund. So no matter where you are on him, That's a staged photo. You could think he's the
I
greatest thing
completely
since sliced
disagree.
bread, but that's a staged photo.
Come on.
And it's done for a reason. Now, all the experts are out talking. Everybody knows. Everybody. But there's one person in New York who was on one of the networks last night talking about how it is completely by design. It's meant to show strength. It's meant to show never surrender. And she claims he has used that look several times over the years, even when he was a developer, maybe attorneys going after him, that sort of thing. When that picture was taken in the New York Post or the Daily News, it was always that look. And she says that is a look of what he feels is a look of strength and never surrender.
Yeah, that does not look like
Here's the problem, though. The tweet last night said never surrender. The problem is he surrendered to the court system last night.
I don't doubt that he'll make money off that photo. I don't think that's a staged photo, and I don't think they let him take it more than once. You think they let him take multiple?
I didn't say that. I never said that.
Well, you said it was a staged photo.
It is a staged photo by Trump. This is a photo. Trump got that look by design. It's not like they walked him in, took a shot, and it's like, oh, look at the shot we got. It is staged. He has that picture by design. He wants to look that way for his mugshot. You can't tell me that Donald Trump doesn't care what his mugshot looks like.
Well, yeah, you could say that about anybody, though, right? I mean, look at the Giuliani photo.
I'm not saying. I didn't say. Did I say anything about anybody else?
No.
No. I'm saying in that case, that is he wants that look, and he's going to raise money off it. And the people who followed Trump, even back during the days long before he was in politics, say that's a look he's given when he wants to show strength. And take it for what it is.
He looks meek there. Ugh.
You think meek? All right.
You think you? I mean, he doesn't look.
Yeah. Listen. I don't want to. I want to do. I didn't even see it until this morning. The shot was out, and I had everybody was talking about it last night. I had no interest in going to look at it, but this morning it popped up. I'm like, wow, yeah, that's the photo he wants people to see. He wants his supporters to see. Mike this morning says, I was just looking at the Trump mugshot. You know who he looks like? Imus when he was older. He does.
Yeah.
Quack quack.
He does kind of look like.
Put a cowboy hat rather than a MAGA hat on him, and he'd be a spitting image of Imus in the morning. This is Imus in the morning.
I say never surrender.
That's not a very good impression. Yours is much better. Yeah. By the way, he was a grumpy old man, too. Okay. Thanks for that, Mike. Rob says, I'm upset with Jimmy. He's become way too political on Trump, so I've been listening to another show. Well, I'm not going to. What do you want me to do, Rob? Start promoting other programs? And we're Jimmy fans here. And I get it. Jimmy's take on this is enough is enough. Trump has to go. Let the new people come in and become president. Do you know that the problem that you have is that there's polling out there. Now, there are polls that show 70% of Republicans feel Trump is getting a raw deal. 67%, I'm just throwing numbers out, 67% of Republicans feel that they will vote for Trump if he is the nominee. Maybe that number is even higher. The problem you have is, can Trump win a national election? And when the polling comes out, there was a poll just released yesterday that has well over half of America saying they not only feel he shouldn't be running for president, but feel that he's guilty and should be incarcerated. That's the other part of America. The problem is that side is bigger, and you have 35% of Republicans who don't think Trump should run. The problem here is he's going to struggle winning a national election. Now, I talked to somebody about that last night after that poll was released, and his answer was, I don't believe the polls. Okay, you just believe the polls when I said 80% of Republicans support Trump, but you don't believe the other polls.
Is it 80%?
I don't know what the number is, but it's up there. It's a high number of Republicans who support Trump. But I think there's also a number out there that would rather he not be the candidate and would like to support somebody like DeSantis or one of the other candidates. So all interesting stuff. What do you think about it? 315-736-0186. And, you know, I don't want to get bogged down on this whole thing, but it's out there. We'll talk to Luke Perry this morning. And, oh, by the way, the other thing that's very interesting is the DA or the is it the Attorney General in no, it's the DA in Atlanta who's bringing this case. So, or is it the Attorney General? I really, honestly, have paid very little attention. It's yet another indictment, right? But the one thing that was interesting yesterday is she's asking for a trial in October. The other thing that was interesting is like 65% of Americans, according to I believe it's Rasmussen poll, want these cases to be tried before the election.
Right.
And I thought that was an interesting number too.
Yeah.
But when you just poll Republicans, the majority would like it to never go to trial. That is, this is a witch hunt. So the country is very much divided. The problem is the Trump side is smaller nationwide than just think about it. These people voted for Biden. They didn't like him anymore back when he was cognizant, right?
No, they didn't. Now it's just piling on.
This was not a I love Joe Biden vote in 2020. It was an anti-Trump vote.
Right.
Think about all the times that Biden tried to run and he failed. What would make 2020 any different? It was the Trump factor, I feel.
And he's been given a pass, I think, when we with this cancel culture, where we go back 20 years and see what somebody said. I mean, he said some really bad things. The whole jungle about the kids going to school together.
I get it. Yeah,
and then
you're right.
I didn't know this. And again, I wouldn't believe it if somebody told me, but I would imagine it's been vetted, and I would see that they had fact checked it. But didn't he not euthanize? Excuse me. What is it when you give the
eulogize?
Eulogize. Thank you.
Right after the eulogy, no, actually, just before the eulogy, we euthanized him, and now we will eulogize him.
Eulogized some member of Congress who was like an outspoken Klansman.
The problem is if the problem that you have is you could say the same thing about current Senate members and congressional members, mainly Senate, but take a Lindsey Graham, the history of this country is what it is, and it's kind of hard to judge people that way.
Well, I agree 100% with your point, but there are many in society who do that now, and they go back at what you did 25, 30. I mean, they think Lindsey Graham's a racist and a bigot anyway.
Yeah.
They just don't think it of Trump. Of Biden. He gets the pass somehow.
Okay, interesting. I just think that he has foot in mouth syndrome, and he says some of the time. Is he anti-wheelchair? Is he anti-disabled people? When he kept telling the veteran to stand up. Come on, stand up back there. What are you doing? Stand up. Take some pride in what you're doing. Meanwhile, the guy's in a wheelchair. He can't walk.
And then
people around him are trying to lift him up, make the moment go away. They're like, get him up. Biden will stop if you get him up.
He, earlier this year, did the similar thing to a woman, member of Congress who had passed away.
Yeah, she wasn't even there.
She was dead.
She's
Mary?
Dead. Where's Mary?
Mary, come on. Where is she? She worked very hard on this legislation.
Oh. The good part is in America, we can't do better than this. This is the best we can do. This is
That's not true.
Oh, it is? It isn't? Well, apparently we pay no attention to others who are better, right? And the Democrats are like, we're sticking with our guy. That's the difference between Democrats and Republican parties, is that Republicans eat their own. Democrats stick together through thick and thin. I feel. Bob Schofield is on. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is like crazy morning Friday. Schofield is on, and MVHS is buying the Kennedy parking garage. Mm-hmm. Now this went. Now what do we have Paseni on today? We do. He's back today, Lance, because he wanted to get into a few other things, and we definitely want to talk to him about this parking garage. But think about this. If you're Paseni, you are livid over this because it's been, 2 years now since supposedly it was sold to the developer in Syracuse.
Bowers.
The Bowers Group and whatever the other name was in the development group. It was sold to them for $1.5 million. Paseni said, what are you doing? Now we're going to have to go and put more floors on the garage. So they've done all this, changed the plans, and began to add more floors on the garage. Now, not only will the MVHS be able to lease some of the parking spaces, they're going to own the parking garage and have them all. There's like almost 500 parking spaces there. So Isn't this just crazy?
It
But
is.
who else was going to buy it?
Yeah, well,
Who else was going to buy that parking garage? It's estimated it needs about $13 million in repairs.
so, and we'll find out when we talk to the county executive and to Bob Schofield this morning. So had they been allowed to purchase that Kennedy garage earlier, I believe it was thought all along that the hospital would be ready ahead of the garage. It just wasn't exactly sure how long, and then they added a couple floors, and now we're 6 months. There's about a 6-month window in between.
Yeah.
Well, they could have been doing prep work on the Kennedy garage so that their employees would have a place to park.
I think
Now-
that I think that it is usable. It just needs work.
Yes,
So
it's not completely unusable.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. There are some slots in there. Yeah.
that'll be interesting. A couple of other quick comments. Hold on, Roger. I'm coming right with you. As I listened this morning to Celeste's friend. This is Richard. Friend is a big liar and will be the worst mayor Utica will ever witness. She is so far left, you can't get farther left than her. The only problem is she doesn't sound that way.
Right. I agree with you on this.
Thank God I live in New Hartford. Okay, Richard, thank you for that. Is there more? WTR is the most amateur news. Oh, come on,
Stop,
Richard.
Stop.
Number 3, I have some concerns about Jeff. He is obviously a heavy smoker. You can tell when he laughs, he sounds like a 70-year-old hacker. He needs to quit smoking and visit a doctor for that hacking, as he just did. I heard him, said Richard. Just some concern. Signed, Richard. Well, he cares about you.
Is it that bad?
There are. Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
There are mornings when you're breathing, you're wheezing,
Yes. Oh, you're
and
right.
I can hear it in the headphones.
So yes,
And it sounds
Okay.
like that. I feel like you should tape it and send it off to the Cancer Society. They'll use it in one of their upcoming commercials.
No, thanks.
It's not that bad. But it's it's there.
So I have felt, and I know this has gone on sporadically over the past few years, but I have felt worse, I guess I'll say, in the last couple of weeks.
well, it's gonna hit. I mean,
Yeah, it catches
but
up with
the
you
problem
eventually.
is that you smoke and you smoke, and it's hard to quit. It is hard. I do understand that. Roger on Biden and Trump. Hello, Roger. Good morning.
Good morning. I think you said it earlier when you said, can't we do better than this?
Yeah.
And I believe 60% of Americans will not vote for Trump. And I think we're approaching that situation with Biden. And I really honestly believe this country is very ripe for a third party. It just may turn it upside down.
I could not agree more. I feel like if someone were to come out that would be somewhere in the middle, could understand conservatives, could understand the craziness of liberals, the craziness on both sides, could understand it, I feel like that person would we wouldn't be talking about Ross Perot here. I completely agree, Roger.
Yeah, we are just sick and tired of what's going on. At least I am. I can't speak for everybody. But I think you're right. We're better than this. And all we witness is one episode after another, whether it's President Biden or whether it's ex-President Trump.
It's enough. Yep.
That's all I want to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Enjoy the weekend. It's Friday. We're coming up on the weekend. New York State Fair. Davey's going to be going. We've got a Mets game in our future here, which, for what it's worth. What's going on? Do you know what's happening Sunday? I saw they're going to be retiring Strawberry and Gooden's number.
Yeah, next season.
It's next season. Okay.
Yeah. And Ohtani is still, I think, going to be used as a designated hitter, so I expect that we'll see him on Sunday.
You know who ends up? This is Mike. You know who ends up being the big winner with the parking garage? Rob Esch and the Nexus Center. They'll get all this extra parking and support those events. That's probably true. Wayne, none of what they do to Trump is going to change the way politicians act or how they do things. They all feel they are above the law, Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I'm disgruntled as well.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. Okay, Davey. I know he was a little down here this morning. He was a little bit down over that WWE, WWF death. We were just talking about that Rotundo guy from Syracuse. He was the IRS guy, right?
Yes.
And now his kid has died? Terrible.
Yes. I had no idea. I mean, because am I I mean, I was into this as a kid. Bray Wyatt was like a big burly when he had a huge beard, right? He looked like some
He didn't look like Rotundo.
man who lived on a mountainside. Yeah.
That Rotundo was like fit, tall, dark.
Had a
muscular.
professional look.
Yeah.
That's why he pulled off that character so well.
Davey, how's your mojo today?
Okay.
You're pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got the weekend off. You're going to lay low.
Yeah.
You got a chance to see that Laney woman at the state fair.
No.
You didn't.
No.
You got a chance to see Chubby Checker at the state fair.
No.
You're going to be going to the state fair on Monday.
Yes.
You're going to have. I'll get it right. You're going to have Tuesday off. As
Yes.
a matter of fact, right? And I feel like I'm looking at a man right now in the booth who's got his mojo on. And I thought, whenever Davey's got his mojo, we got to celebrate. Here's a little celebration for you, Davey.
Davey's got his mojo working. It just won't work on you.
It won't work on you, but he's got it going. Yeah.
He's got his mojo working. It won't work on you. He's gonna take your phone call and then he's gonna hang up on you.
Going to take your phone call and they're just going to hang right up on you. See ya.
Going over to Stittsville. He calls that Mojo Land.
Where the ladies are.
He's gonna mosey over to Stittsville, a place he calls Mojo Land. He's gonna have all you women in Stittsville under his mojo command.
That's it, Davey. You got it. How about look, he's dancing in there. He's going back and forth.
Davey's got his mojo working. Davey's got his mojo working. Yeah. Davey's got his mojo working, and he just won't work on you.
Yeah, there's more to that. We'll save it for later. But, Davey, there's your tune. When that mojo's going, we know what to play now.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Davey's
I like
got
that.
his mojo working.
That mojo command there.
It
We've
just
got
won't work on you.
several messages coming in this morning via the WIBX 950 mobile app. John from Rome. John must have missed our 6 a.m. news update because he says, make sure you tell Davey that Brett Wyatt
yeah.
died. It's Bray Wyatt. Obviously, we talked about that already this morning. Matt in Holland Patton says, Biden is awful. We need change from the geriatric patients. Phil in Frankfurt, let me go see if he sent more than one message. Phil says, Bill needs to take a good look in the verbal mirror.
Okay.
And I don't know.
I'll look in that mirror a little later
exactly
as soon as I find one.
And then Lance says, see, Jeff, what I said earlier this week was true. I don't make things up. And so, okay, so he sent me a screenshot of an article in the Rome Sentinel, in the Daily Sentinel, excuse me. And, okay, so we should address this. I think some of the things he said when he messaged in were accurate, but I don't.
What are we talking about?
This is Lance, and this is about the city of Rome and what
Okay, all right.
And you were quite hot about this earlier this week. I think what's going on here.
I was hot about Lance's comments on what occurred on the radio.
Okay,
and that's what angered me.
I
Sorry.
I believe he is connecting dots and tying things together.
He's trying to say that the Democrats nominated Jackie Izzo because of some deal. She did this for that one, this for that,
her
whatever.
DPW commissioners.
I'm
the
telling
deputy DPW commissioner is related to somebody who's a
I'm
sister
just
or something.
here to tell you that's wrong because I know.
Okay,
I was I was the conduit when the first call came in about an endorsement. It was first brought up to me, and I just said, well, I think that she'd be open to that. You should talk to her. And that's where this all came from. These are Democrats who don't like, I'm telling you right now, they don't like the influence of Jim Zecca and the Constitutional Caucus from Utica and the Rosiers and that whole group. They don't like that influence, and they're nervous about it. And for that reason, they're endorsing her. That's it.
Okay, so
There's no big tie-in. There's no big mystery or conspiracy. It just doesn't exist. It's being made up in your head.
Again, he said, I'll reread the message. Angela Topi, who headed the
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
I think what he pointed
because
out.
I can tell you it's not true. That's all I can
the
tell you.
relationships he pointed out, and then he said Mike Brown and David Amadon received DRI money. But again, you're going back months.
DRI money came when? So she was going to think about this for a second.
Yes.
Logic.
Make this point. We talked about
Think
this
about
after
this.
the show. Yeah.
So she had to have known
She's going to lose the
a year
primary.
and a half before she's going to lose the primary and take an endorsement from the Democrats. Lance, you're living in la-la land here. That just isn't – there's no logic to that argument. Think about it.
So I think
Everybody thought she was going to win the primary. He wasn't even in the race during that time. So I'm just saying there's nothing there.
I think he points out a couple of things that if you look in, and I don't mean you, that if you looked into, you'd go, oh, wait, that's true. They got DRI money. And then he connects a dot. He pulls something in that's not related and
This is like
ties it together.
This is like the mayor has family members working at Bowers. That's been going around for. I can't find it to be true anywhere. But I don't even think it's that. This is even a further stretch than that because she would have to have known months and months and months before that this was all going to happen.
Right.
Makes no sense. So I mean, you just got to say the Democrats have endorsed her. Now there is a former Democratic chair that he's referencing. Who's no longer with the Democratic Party and has been on Lanigan's side from the very beginning, that came out and said that she, I believe it's she, supports Lanigan. All right. Still, the Democratic Party in Rome has endorsed her.
Yeah.
And if I were the Lanigan side, I just want this story to go away as soon as possible and not keep bringing it up. And I'm not saying, Lance, you're on any side necessarily, but I'm just saying your theory is cuckoo. Ka-choo. Stefan, can you call back next hour? Because I got to get into. Do you mind? I'll take you though on it, but you got to call back next hour, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks, man. I have Willie Waffle standing by. Willie, of course, a big weekend coming up.
What are we going to do? 2 shows today?
We might have to. We have a lot of stuff going on. Willie, good morning.
Man, I feel like I walked into a tornado.
Yeah, listen, that's a Sharknado around here, or Bearnado. But Willie, you know politics. People try to figure things out and connect the dots. The problem in small town politics is, I know that he did this because he's related to that. He's friends with this person. She's friends with that person. You're in a small town. You're gonna if you throw a rock up, you're bound to hit a relative once it comes down.
Correct. That's something
That's part of the problem.
People say to me all the time, for instance, one of my neighbors, his mother went to high school with my mother. And when the two mothers realized this, they were outside in our backyards talking for about 4 hours. And my mother went, boy, isn't it such a small world? And I said,
Not
no,
really.
it's a small city.
That's right.
It's not a small world. The world's huge.
That is true.
Well, and then I'll throw out there, people extrapolate from this. It's like, well, these two people went to high school, so they must know everything that happened to everybody that was in that high school for the last 40 years. I mean, no, you don't. You have no idea. Everybody thinks they know somebody who knows the truth, and they heard it from another friend. This is like the worst game of telephone you've ever seen.
Do you remember the old song? I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who
made up 75% of the story before they told their other friend about what happened.
That's exactly the lyric. That's exactly it. Thank you. All right, Willie, we're going into the.
Before we get into movies, I saw something that shocked me this week, and I need Willie to set me straight.
All right.
Okay.
What's his name? Kevin Spacey. Was he, as Trump would say, totally exonerated? He was found not guilty on all the sexual allegations, or was it only some of the sexual allegations against him? What happened?
He was cleared. He was cleared, man.
That's amazing.
He's in. Yeah, it's shocking.
Here's the thing: if he's straight,
well,
I'm just saying. Let me say, if he's straight, would people walk away saying, "Look at this is terrible how this man was persecuted"? But because he's gay, you still have people out there saying, "I don't believe him. I still think he did it." Will they let him back into Hollywood? Do you think?
I think it's going to be very hard. I mean, the allegations,
are ugly.
How do I want to put this? The allegations had enough truth to them to where he got through the court system, but in the court of public opinion, he is going to have that hanging around his neck like an albatross for the rest of his career. So he may get little independent roles. He may get little productions where they want the publicity of having Kevin Spacey, but he's never going to have the career he used to have.
He had a gigantic role in the one about Washington when he was in there with Robin. What's her name?
That was an amazing show.
I can't think
series.
Yes, that was on Netflix. It was about Washington,
and they tried to keep it going after he left, and it just pummeled. Just died.
Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm blanking on the name too, and I was just reading about it the other night. Darn it.
It is Orange is
Cards.
the New Yellowstone.
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
And
which was a British show before, and then it was adapted for the United States using Kevin Spacey.
Secondly, he came out, and I don't know if this was attorney or if these words basically came off his lips, but he said essentially all this stuff was, and I've acknowledged this before, I was a promiscuous gay man, with all these allegations about different people. Now, there was the underage, there was allegations that involved, I believe, a 13-year-old or multiple allegations. I don't remember. But it was one of those things where when the allegations arose, it was front page news everywhere. And then whether you agree or disagree, he was found not guilty of those charges. And
he's done.
It was, one out of eight news outlets were reporting it.
And then one other thing, Willie, if you could, you remember the movie about ice skating and the what's the actor from New England where he had the facial expression? It was like steel ice, or do you remember he'd come whipping around with a over dramatic facial expression?
I am completely blanking on that.
I'll find it. I'm going to find it before you're done. All right, let us talk about, first of all, in theaters this next week or so, because we're going to be going to Labor Day weekend as well.
Well, yeah, and this weekend, don't forget they're having their big National Cinema Day on Sunday. So a lot of movies you're going to be able to get to see for $4, which is kind of cool. Okay. And one of those could be Liam Neeson in Retribution, a movie that might be worth $4. So yeah, it feels like just the typical Liam Neeson movie at this point, right? He's kind of this dirty businessman. He hasn't been paying attention to his family. His wife convinces him to take the kids to school one day, and that's the day a strange caller reaches him on his cell phone and tells him there are bombs strapped to his car, and if his kids get out or he talks to the police, they're going to go boom. And now he's on a wild chase around the city doing all sorts of strange things that make us wonder, who did this guy make angry?
Da-da-da.
Yeah, and it's pretty predictable. I mean, it's Liam Neeson, talking tough into a cell phone. Boy, we've never seen that before.
I will find you.
Yeah, but it's interesting enough. It keeps you hooked long enough. I'm at like 2 waffles for Retribution.
Only 2 waffles.
A day after Waffle Day, too. You're just giving them away.
Yeah.
Before you go on any further, the movie I'm thinking about is, and the facial expression is by Ben Stiller. Owen Wilson.
Are you thinking of Zoolander?
Zoolander.
I was thinking you might have been.
I don't remember that had anything to do with ice skating.
It didn't. It just had, like rhinestone outfits, and I just put two and two. It's the Mandela effect. I remember it being a big ice skating movie.
Yeah.
But they've taken the ice skating out.
You could have said the guy who shot the movie in Utica that everyone went nuts about.
Right.
Ben Stiller was in Utica.
Know. So, but anyway, Ben Stiller has that look of ice, whatever they call it. It was like blazing
Blue
ice.
steel.
Blue steel.
Blue steel.
That was his trademark look when he looked into the camera. I'm comparing blue steel to the president's mugshot last night. That's what I'm saying.
And
I can imagine what's going through his head too. Like they had conversations. Okay, when you get your mugshot taken, what are you going to look like? He goes, I'm going to look tough.
Yes,
and they probably practiced it and everything.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. That's really the look.
I think he looks meek. Like he looks scared.
Manasseh doesn't like the look. I just think it's like, don't screw with me. That's how I see it. I'm
I
coming
think the
for it.
reality is there's no way you can win in a mugshot because everybody knows it's a mugshot. You can smile, you can look nice, you can look tough.
Yeah.
It's a mugshot. It's not a positive development in your life.
That is true.
Great point.
All right. What do you have? 2 other movies in theaters over the next weekend and going forward.
Well, we got one movie and one Disney Plus series. So the movie is Gran Turismo, which, I feel like we've been hearing about Gran Turismo for like 4 or 5 months. And it's based on this true story, the story of Jan Mardenborough, who's a Grand Prix driver. And the deal was years ago, I want to say like around 2010 it might have been, there was a contest held to find gamers who play the Gran Turismo video game and try to make them into real race car drivers. And this guy is the one who won the contest. So we're seeing kind of his life and going through the contest and then becoming a driver and seeing what happens. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of like Rocky for race cars. He's the underdog. He shouldn't have any chance to make it. Nobody believes in him, but darn it, he's going to try. And I think what really wins you over is David Harbour, from Stranger Things, who plays kind of this washed-up driver who's coaching him, who's kind of the curmudgeonly guy who has all the funny lines. You've probably seen the commercials and the trailers. He's the one that makes you laugh. And then he finds his moments to really kind of show you how much he cares about these kids. I'm going to go 2.5 waffles for Gran Turismo.
And then there's one more. It's a Disney Plus series. What do you think quickly on them?
It is their new Star Wars series, Ahsoka. For people who are familiar with Star Wars, she is a Jedi Knight who's on a mission. She's trying to find a really, really bad guy and a really big hero. I think it's interesting. I think it's going to get better. I feel like the first 2 episodes, they just spent so much time establishing who all the characters are and where they came from. I'm ready for some action.
All
So,
right.
I'm at 2.5 waffles, hoping for action in the next few episodes.
And then finally, 40 seconds, the return of Frasier. This is important to note. I think this could be the beginning of the move from network television to their streaming services.
Well, yeah, so Frasier's new show, the reboot, is going to premiere on Paramount Plus on October 12th. Oh, but very conveniently, the first 2 episodes will also air on CBS on October 17th. Gee, nice since, there's a writer's strike and an actor's strike, and they don't have any new shows for the fall, and suddenly this one's going to show up on CBS.
Yeah, they're out. So chances are they're like, nah, we don't want this one. And now we want this one because we can't get anything new. Interesting stuff.
Well, yeah, they used it. This is supposed to be their big promotional tool to get people to sign up for Paramount Plus. But now they need material for the network.
I see. Yep. All right, Willie, have a great week. We'll talk next week. Thank you.
All right, see you next week.
WIBX, Utica, Rome.
Donald Trump makes history again. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. This time is the first former president with an official mugshot taken during his arrest in Georgia on charges related to the 2020 election.
We did nothing wrong at all, and we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think is very dishonest.
An official request for a speedy trial has prosecutors suggesting an October 23rd trial date for one of Trump's 18 co-defendants, attorney Kenneth Chesebro. The leader of a mercenary group is at this point still presumed dead by Western intelligence agencies.
Pentagon spokesman Pat Ryder says they do believe Yevgeny Prigozhin was among the 10 people killed after the jet they were on crashed in Russia this week. He would not confirm reports, though, of an onboard explosion, but did say they have
no information to suggest that there was a surface-to-air missile.
Ryder said the mercenary Wagner group that Prigozhin led is no longer a significant factor inside of Ukraine.
As it relates to Africa, we'll see. Clearly, we know that the Wagner Group has, for a while, been conducting operations, has many tentacles, some military in nature, some criminal in nature.
Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Maui County, Hawaii has released an official list of 388 people considered officially unaccounted for in the search for wildfire victims.
It's alleged that in the midst of a red flag weather warning that in many cases prohibits burning, the utility did not power down its equipment. The county believes energized power lines toppled by high winds caused dry brush to ignite in Lahaina and surrounding areas. The fires that resulted left at least 115 dead and charred more than 3,000 acres, causing an estimated $5.5 billion in damage.
Fox's Gernal Scott. There's significant storm damage reported in Michigan. A second day of severe weather across the Great Lakes has more than 600,000 homes and businesses without power in Michigan and Ohio. America's listening to Fox News.
I've told you about my lower back pain and how kneeling in church on Sunday was becoming nearly unbearable. Sebastian Gorka here. I've also told you about how Relief Factor has helped almost eliminate my pain. Now, let me tell you what Robert in California says about his experience with Relief Factor. Robert writes, I didn't think Relief Factor was working until I ran out mid-month. After about 3 days, the pain was back to where it started. It was a great test for me to see how much Relief Factor really works. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing and living the life you love. Your first step to becoming pain-free from aches and pains from daily living could be just to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out about this offer. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor.
We have mostly cloudy skies, maybe some lingering rain showers depending on your location, and 65 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. Well, it looks like the controversy over Utica's Kennedy parking garage is over. On Thursday, Utica Mayor Robert Palmieri announced the city's Urban Renewal Agency had approved the sale of the garage to Mohawk Valley Health System for $1.5 million. The board voted unanimously to approve that sale. If the sale is finalized, the city says the property will become part of the Wynn Hospital campus. It's estimated the garage needs several $1 million in repair. MVHS had taken issue with the original sale to developer Bowers of Syracuse because the Wynn Hospital was in the process of negotiating a lease for parking spaces with the city. Bowers was set to purchase the garage for $1.5 million. However, that deal ultimately fell through after no action was taken after several months by the development group. New York State's Labor Department is launching a process to connect migrants with jobs. Governor Kathy Hochul says the latest effort will allow asylum seekers to immediately start working once they're granted legal work authorization. She also says the move will allow new arrivals to move toward financial independence. The governor says also sent a letter to the Biden administration requesting the president take action to reduce the strain the migrant crisis has put on New York's resources and facilities. It's the first weekend of the New York State Fair and plenty of activity going on this weekend. Latin singer Julio Iglesias Jr. is set to be on the Chevy Court stage tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. On Sunday, Celtic punk band The Prodigals will also be at the Chevy Court. Other events throughout the weekend include a magic show, the Dinosaur Expedition, and a family petting zoo. You can find the full schedule of events online at nysfair.ny.gov. Also going on this weekend, one of the most popular bands in the world will perform twice at Saratoga Springs over the weekend. Fish will be at the Broadview stage at Saratoga Performing Arts Center tonight and tomorrow night. Both concerts will serve as a benefit for flood victims in Vermont and upstate New York.
It's funny how those acts like Fish and what are some of the other ones? Mo is another good example.
Yes.
These guys go out, they do these festivals, and thousands and thousands of people come out to their shows. They're not on, they're not the most. They're not mainstream by any means, but they pull out huge numbers.
Yeah.
And they just do a whole weekend. We're playing tonight and tomorrow night. Same people are going to be here. And, oh, by the way, they were the same people that were here last week and the week before and last year and the year before that. Very dedicated audiences.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Mo, people come from all over.
Yeah,
and same thing with Fish, too.
Yep.
Okay, and the biggest race of the season at Saratoga happens this weekend. It involves a star-studded field, by the way. Jim Dandy winner, is it Fort or Forte, will look to beat Kentucky Derby winner Maj, Preakness Stakes winner National Treasure, and Belmont Stakes champion Arcangelo in the Travers. That is Saturday. Tickets will be $30 if they're purchased at the gate, $25 if they're bought in advance. Post time for the Travers tomorrow evening is 6:11 p.m. It's a big race, and in fact, we'll talk with Scott in Kirkville at the start of next hour for a little preview and maybe an inside look.
Oh, good,
at,
good. Yeah.
Who's got the inside track?
8 o'clock hour.
Is that right, Smitty? The 8 o'clock hour.
8 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, good.
We'll talk to Scott in Kirkville.
Okay, I like it.
Looking like we're dealing with some rain showers this weekend. Here's what we can expect later today.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, risk of a shower early, gradual clearing with another chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, but most of the time it'll be rain-free. A high of 76. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 64. Tomorrow, mix of clouds with some sunshine, breezy. Chance of showers and storms, especially in the afternoon, near 75. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
And while Saturday does not look great, Sunday, the forecast right now says mostly sunny with a high of 76. It is 7:07. And checking sports, the Nationals fought off the Yankees for a late victory, 6-5 the final. Alex Call hit a 2-run shot, followed by a homer from C.J. Abrams in the 8th inning. Tommy Kahnle takes the loss. The Yankees 61-66 on the season.
Did the Yankees win that game?
No,
they did.
They've lost 9 of 10 now.
Boy.
And,
well, they stopped the record skid.
Aaron Judge homered again yesterday, as did Gleyber Torres. Not enough, though. The Yankees last in the AL East. They head south to take on the Rays in St. Pete. The Mets back on the diamond tonight after an off day Thursday. The Mets come in 10 games under 500 as they welcome the Angels to Citi Field. Los Angeles is fourth in the AL West at 61-67.
There's a theory on Pete Alonso. New York Post has a story, I believe it's in today or yesterday, that talks about what the Mets should do with Alonso. And you know what their recommendation is? Get him locked up immediately.
Yeah,
Don't
what are you
wait.
thinking?
So, but there's a theory out there that this whole thing about trading him was just thrown out. Number one, to see what they could get. But number two was more of a negotiating tool. That they're in a better place negotiating with Alonso right now if Alonso's team knows they're willing to let him go. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
I don't think there's any scenario where they let him go.
I think he's a foundational player, like a David Wright.
No doubt about it. Like
many players.
Just think about even for the Yankees, Derek Jeter. I mean, there's something about him. He has that same clean look. He stands up and kind of leads. He doesn't kind of lead the team. He's a team leader. He just has Mets written all over him. How do you let that go?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
The Mets saying they will honor a pair of legends next season. Both Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry will have their numbers retired at Citi Field. The 2023 college football season gets underway this weekend. Headlining the action is number 13 Notre Dame taking on Navy in Dublin. It'll be the third time the two teams meet in Ireland, the last one taking place in 2012. Preseason football wrapping up this weekend. The Jets will see Aaron Rodgers under center when Gang Green takes on the Giants at MetLife Stadium tomorrow night. And one more NASCAR. This is the final race before the chase begins. The NASCAR Cup Series heads to Florida for the Coke Zero 400 on Sunday.
I have this is kind of interesting. Joe Pacini, big Trump supporter. So much so that a part of his email that he sent here, saying that Trump did more for America than any president ever in the history of the country. That's how. Now, you know that I disagree with that. I'm not a Trump supporter at all. You don't have to hate me for it. I don't go on and on and on about it every day. I just kind of feel like that's my feeling. You have yours. We should all be able to get along. And that's how Joe and I are able to approach this. So I don't agree with him. I'm not calling him stupid. I don't agree with him. Now, the part that is interesting, though, of his email is very interesting. We were just talking about a third-party candidate, that a third-party candidate might be the answer. Pacini says Trump was a third-party candidate in Republican clothing. That's very interesting because he was the great alternative.
Yeah.
We'd never seen anything like it. And his belief is that both Republicans and Democrats went after him because he was a third-party candidate. I don't agree with that part. I think Trump created his own problems.
Yeah.
When he attacked, they attacked back, and it just became the fight. At the end of the day, who started it? I don't know who started it. I realize Trump supporters believe it was the media attacking and just relentlessly going after Trump. But, you know, who drew the first punch? I challenge anybody to come up with the answer to that one. But as for him being a third-party candidate, What do you think? He was an alternative candidate. Nobody ever liked him, right?
I think the description, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that is a great way to describe it. I think he was a third-party candidate in Republican clothing.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if that's yours, Joe, or if you saw that somewhere, but I completely am intrigued by that statement. Pretty cool. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. I have to say that, my dad has been treated there, currently being treated there for not back issues anymore. Currently being treated there for nerve pain from shingles that just occurred. And I got to tell you, this whole when Dr. Shemolinsky talks about, if your body is not, if all the blood vessels and all the ins and outs in your body are not working properly, you are not going to feel well. You are going to have health complications. And that's part of the osteopathy that he practices. And I got to tell you, what he has done to my dad has been significant decrease in pain within a couple of days. It's unbelievable. So if you're looking for someone to take that medicine, the modern medicine approach, combined with osteopathy, that's the Falcon Clinic. Dr. Shemolinsky, Dr. Zielinski, other physicians under one roof. Call today and schedule an appointment at 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information for families that have disabled children to protect the child and to ensure your future wishes are met. So if you have a disabled child, you need to provide them with what's called a special needs trust. This trust allows them to receive an inheritance from you, but also allows them to keep any governmental benefits that they are receiving. It is critically important that if they have an inheritance coming, that they not lose their benefits. Unmarried couples should be aware of important steps they need to take with their estate planning. If a partner dies and does not leave a will, the surviving partner will not likely receive any of the assets from the deceased partner. This can create a lot of problems in the future and must be resolved utilizing a will or a trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Connect with more than a mortgage on Americu Credit Union's mortgage app. Experience the ease and expertise of having a personal mortgage assistant in the palm of your hand. Seek pre-approval, upload documents, and have your questions answered from application until your keys are in hand. Visit Americu.org or download the Americu Mortgage app today. Americu and you. Let's connect. Data carrier rates may apply. Membership eligibility is required. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
John and Marie heard about Mattress Express's newest promotion where you simply stop in, perform a simple comfort test, and get a prepaid $25 Visa card. They went to Mattress Express's location in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. They tried Tempur-Pedic. They tried Stearns & Foster. They tried the 9 different purple mattresses. They loved them all. They settled on the Q9 King number bed by Instant Comfort in a flex head. John liked his side firm. We set it to 40, elevated his head and feet, said he'd never been more comfortable. Marie liked her side softer. She was an 18. What a difference. Elevated her head a little higher, her feet a little less. They said it was like they were each in their own custom bed. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, did not give us a nickel up front. They, for their luxury rewards, selected a 75-inch flat screen TV. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Come to any Mattress Express, perform a simple comfort test, and get a $25 prepaid Visa card.
It's the 85th Annual New York State Trappers Convention and Sportsman Show, August 31st through September 2nd at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort. The show features a Friday night auction, a Saturday night can raffle, daily demonstrations, crafters and artisans, flea market, gun and treasure chest raffle, great food and camping too. Admission is $10, good for all 3 days. 16 and under are free, service members free on Saturday. The New York State Trappers Convention and Sportsman Show, August 31st through September 2nd at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
This Davies Mojo song right here. Oh, yeah. Got an angry caller on the line. How does Davey handle that? Well, it depends on whether he has his mojo or not.
He's got an angry caller, wants to tell them where to go. Davy's got an angry caller, wants to tell them where to go. He's got a boatload of tricks right there in his studio. Davy's got his mojo working. 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 Davy's got his mojo working, but it just won't work on you.
There he is, Mr. Mojo. Mr. Mojo. Mr. Mojo Jangles. Davey in there dancing. Got his mojo. Got his mojo on.
Mojangles.
Loves the ladies.
Just before we move on to the next thing here, or maybe this is a great segue to it, I wanted to share that Lance and Lee has chimed in. You were talking about a third-party candidate and the email that we got from Joe Pacini. And Lance commented, hopefully Joe Manchin will run as a third-party candidate.
Well, he's been talked about, right? And he has not ruled it out as of yet.
Well, Bill, all I'm trying to do is focus on the needs of my people in Pennsylvania or wherever the heck he's at. Is it West Virginia? Pennsylvania.
He's West Virginia.
In West Virginia.
Luke Perry is a professor at Utica University and is on the line right now. Luke, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you think of a Joe Manchin third-party run?
I think from a political science perspective, it's very difficult for any third-party candidate to be successful because of how our electoral system works.
Yeah.
Most democracies have proportional representation, where in an election for the legislature, for instance, you vote for parties, not people, and if your party gets 10% of the vote, you get 10% of the seats. That is, as everybody knows, not our system, and instead we have candidates running for districts or obviously for president, running for 50 statewide elections to get an electoral college votes. And the result of this is that to be successful, Manchin would have to beat the Republican candidate, the Democratic candidate, in a number of states to get enough electoral votes to be competitive. And we just haven't seen that happen. Even Ross Perot did a pretty good job, was not competitive in the end. So it's very difficult.
Here's the other thing. We have a listener who said that he felt that that Trump is the ultimate third-party candidate, just dressed in Republican clothing.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Trump certainly hasn't risen in his political career through the Republican Party. He was, at different times in his life, both a Democrat and a Republican. And the party's really more beholden to him than the other way around, which is not how political parties typically work in democracies. So I think there is some credence to that point. He's always run as a political outsider, even though he's now served one term in the presidency. And I think we'll see those populist appeals and that approach continue.
What did you think of the mugshot yesterday?
I don't really have any comment on the mugshot.
Okay.
I don't want to comment on people's physical appearance. I don't think that would be helpful. But yes, I know it generated some curiosity.
It has. What was it? Was it Blue Steel? Was the movie? It wasn't
the character you were
character.
trying to think of, yeah.
That was the character's facial expression. Blue Steel.
You know, and it's funny.
Interesting.
Ben Stiller also did something similar with the facial expressions in the movie where Dodgeball,
Dodgeball.
He did that very well. He had that like little prance.
That's
and
right.
He had his
The
little
look.
outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess I want to just one more, and then we'll talk about the redistricting here. One more on Trump. So they want to in Georgia. The DA wants to try this case in October, and there's a poll out that says the majority of Americans, this is Republicans, Democrats, Independents, would like to see the former president tried and these cases wrapped up before the election. I find that hard to get there, but it is interesting that they're targeting October for this case in Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is the Georgia case involves a number of people, a number of different charges. It's quite complicated, and the way our legal system works is that it takes time to process cases, and the reason primarily that is so is because of the Constitution, and specifically the second half of the Bill of Rights that provides the people accused of a crime, including Trump and his alleged co-conspirators, they have an extraordinary amount of rights from government persecution as someone now formally charged with a crime. So the byproduct of that, it takes a lot of time, and it's hard to say exactly when that case will be heard.
Okay, I want to bring you to the 22nd Congressional District. And, of course, Brandon Williams has announced that he is running for re-election. But there are a handful of others from the Syracuse area who say they will challenge him. I believe most of them, all of them, are on the Democratic side.
Clemmy Harris, who you know, Professor Perry.
Yep.
Sarah Clee Hood, who ran as a candidate last time but lost in the primary. And New York State Senator Joe Mannion, who represents the Syracuse area, Camillus, part of Oswego as well.
However, it probably won't be as it is right now. It looks like we're going to be redrawing the congressional lines again here in New York.
There's been a protracted legal battle over this for several years now. That's why I'm laughing, and it seems to not go away. And I would say it's kind of 50-50 at this point in terms of whether we're going to have the existing congressional boundaries or whether those are going to be redrawn. And obviously that's going to have huge implications. I would say to your audience that redistricting is one of the sort of nerdier, more nuanced part of Congress and congressional elections, but it's just incredibly important.
Yeah.
And so, however this shakes out, it's going to be very impactful, particularly in terms of us as a region and what district we're in and what that means in terms of representation.
Can you explain who's bringing the challenge and then ultimately what court decides it?
Well, so the challenge is there's been several back and forth in terms of who has the authority to draw the district boundaries. And I think the main issue, as I see it, is when the New Yorkers amended the Constitution, state Constitution several years ago, they prohibited essentially gerrymandering in regards to how the districts are drawn. And they created a new commission. I won't call it an independent commission because that's a bit misleading. It's not truly politically independent. But they created a new commission to draw the boundaries. And so that process unfolded for the first time following redistricting after 2020. And there's been a number of legal disputes about whether the Democrats, who were the ones in power, obviously, at the state level, had the authority to draw the districts the way they did. The Republicans challenged that. And there's been a back and forth as to whether the Democrats properly did that. The courts originally ruled no. And now it comes that case is still working its way through the courts as to whether they will be able to redraw the districts or whether the ones we have will stand.
Maybe I'm misremembering, as Roger Clemens would say, but didn't Republicans upstate did very well, among them Brandon Williams. Why would Republicans want to redraw the lines if they won more districts than they expected to going into it?
That's a good question. You're absolutely right. Republicans did exceptionally well in House elections, particularly through central New York all the way down to the Hudson Valley. They were initially challenging the boundaries that came out through the state legislature. So, in short, the commission process basically reached a gridlock, And because of the supermajority Democrats had in the legislature, they were able to draw the districts, which they did very quickly, and the governor signed them. And that's where you had John Faso, who was a former Central New York representative, bring a case that he ultimately won that said that the Democrats didn't follow proper procedure. And then you had the special person put in to draw the district. So where we're at now in terms of the larger process, the Democrats questioned that and said, wait a second, we actually, in their mind, did follow the procedure, do have the right to do this, and the districts we have now are actually legally wrong.
It is very, very, it would be nice to get this over with, because as of right now, with Brandon Williams running, he really doesn't know what his district is going to look like. It is, I think, the best case scenario for us is if Herkimer County is included in with Oneida County, and probably into Syracuse, I guess. The other part is I think that Syracuse underestimated Oneida County and the more rural areas outside Syracuse. As this was, many thought this was going to be a shoe-in for Democrats, the 22nd. Didn't turn out to be that way.
No, you're absolutely correct. To your first point, kind of what I'm looking for in an ideal situation in regards to our region is not to end up in a corner of the large district with other larger population centers.
Yep.
The more we could be central and less on the periphery, I think the more attention we will get in Congress, and that will help us all, irrespective of people's different political viewpoints. In terms of the district boundaries that we had last time in terms of the electoral outcome, you're absolutely right. It was the most Democratic district we've had in the Utica-Rome area for some time, and Democrats were hopeful of taking the seat that was once held by Claudia Tenney and John Kakko in 24, which we now got a bunch of that in our district. But Oneida County was pivotal. I think the extent to which Oneida County went Republican was the major factor if you look at the different parts of the district as to why Brandon Williams won. So what I'm looking for next time, if we have these same districts, is can he hold those numbers, or will those come down in presidential election year?
Here's one more note to keep in mind. The Democrats completely ignored this part of the district. They weren't on radio, TV programs. They didn't do as much marketing here. They just thought they had it wrapped up, and it really backfired.
I think you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Okay, Luke, very interesting. One time we should talk about, you're now a political science professor, and I wonder, are we in one of the most amazing times for someone to be teaching young people about politics and political science, or is this just par for the course? The eras throughout our history, this one doesn't really stand out. Maybe I'll throw that at you right now.
It's a unique and challenging time to teach political science, given the hyper-partisanship environment we have.
It seems like we're in a special time right now. No doubt about
it.
Absolutely. Luke Perry, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you. We'll do it again.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Interesting.
It's funny, to follow up on that, it would seem to me, and this gets back to your comments about the mugshot this morning, Trump seems to do a good job of projecting the image he wants to project, but I think doesn't do the things he's supposed to do, like he's saying do. And Biden's the opposite. Biden probably, unless he's making a gaffe, kind of does the things that that the party wants him to do, but he doesn't project a great image. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
and sometimes says things that he thinks will have impact and have the exact opposite impact. And those are definitely mistakes. Whereas Trump seems to be very, he's thought these things out. He has a plan. He knows exactly where he's going.
He's a forward-thinking pony soldier.
I guess you'd say that. Yep. All right. I yesterday was just shaking my head when I read the story that the city of Utica has sold. They have sold the Kennedy parking garage. I can imagine that Tony Picenti might have been shaking his head. Bob Schofield is like, I can't believe where we are right now. I don't want to put words in his mouth. So instead of doing that, let's bring him on right now. Bob Schofield from MVHS. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Never saw this. I mean, we brought this up when we had the mayor on, why don't you work with the hospital. It seems like they would be the only viable buyer out there for this Kennedy parking garage. But if you're Paceni, you got to be like, look what we've had to do with this garage. We had to add floors, et cetera, et cetera. If we would have done this back then, we wouldn't have had any of that. Your take on all of it?
Well, there was an awful lot of moving parts over the past couple of years associated with parking. To go backwards and talk about all the different things that could have happened or did happen, I don't know that it provides any great value at this point. But the good news is, the county is building a wonderful parking space garage that will serve the Wynn Hospital. Now the city has agreed to sell the Kennedy garage to MVHS as well. That just ensures that we have plenty of parking. Our biggest goal as we bring this facility downtown is not only just to get the Wynn Hospital up and running. Time goes by, we will be growing on this campus. Downtown will be growing. And we had a medical office building started, and who knows what the next project is. So having parking ready for the future, I think, benefits MDHS, the city, and most certainly the community going forward.
Yeah. How much is this a parking garage that will be able to be utilized right away when the hospital opens, or do repairs have to be made to it before you get there?
It will be able to be utilized immediately, but we do need to make some repairs to it. We have been working with an engineering firm to come in and take a look to see what extent those repairs are, and we'll probably do those phased over time just to make sure that we don't give up too much of that parking. Obviously, as people are aware, they have the opening of the county garage, having these additional parking spaces in advance of the opening of the county garage is certainly a huge benefit to the project.
All right. And do you see a way that it will be used? I mean, has there been any thought about this? I'm sure you've been strategizing, but staff members will use one garage and the public will use another. I mean, is there a game plan here?
Well, the larger garage, the county garage, will have dedicated spots in it for the employees, for the members of our medical staff, and for visitors to the Wynn Hospital. We would envision that the Kennedy garage would be utilized for hospital staff, visitors to the medical office building, as well as people from the city. The city will still be able to occupy somewhere between 75 and 100 spaces inside Kennedy Garage.
Okay, on another note, I saw on TV yesterday the latest tour. You guys are getting very close, and it looks like your late October target is on schedule as of right now.
Yep, we're still on schedule to move patients on October 29th. As you can probably guess, there's 1,000 details in the works as we speak, making sure all the equipment, furnishings are in place, and more importantly, our staff are ready to go. We have started training inside the building about a month ago, and on September 5th, we go full bore, bringing literally hundreds of people into the building on a regular basis, getting themselves acclimated to the space, but more importantly, understanding how the space.
We're speaking with Bob Schofield, MVHS. Of course, the announcement yesterday that it's MVHS that is now purchasing the Kennedy Garage. A lot of people wondering, I know there is a story, it might be the CDC, recommending people who are at any sort of a health risk should mask up when going out into public. Are we in a here we go again moment? And, of course, the hospitals in Syracuse have decided to mandate masks. Are you seeing that possible for your hospipals?
Honestly, Bill, that's a better Kent Hall question than for me.
Fair enough.
I've been up to my eyeballs in drywall and paint for the past few months. I know as much as you do based on what I read in the press.
All right, Bob, we appreciate it. And I would say here, this is a big, important piece to your puzzle.
It absolutely is. It was a long time coming. We weren't quite sure how it would all end up, but even though we could spend a lot of time talking about how we got here, quite frankly, at this particular point, we're thankful for that, and I think it does an awful lot to alleviate people's concerns about parking downtown.
And then I'll ask you one more on this. We've reported over the course of the last couple of years that Mayor Palmieri has not the two sides, and really three sides, including the county executive, have not really gotten along all that well. I'm assuming this was a big step in the right direction.
Absolutely was. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think you're going to see, and as I've seen, a cooling of those tensions, getting closer to the opening day. I think everyone is starting to get on the same page.
Yeah, I think when on opening day, to be able to see everybody there would be a real positive for the entire community, no doubt about it. So, all right. Bob Schofield, as always, your time with us, we appreciate greatly.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks so much. All right, let's. What do you?
Everyone on the same page. It only took 7 years? 8?
If you heard that, that's big news, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because prior to this, there has been a headbanging between the two sides, or the three sides, 2 against 1, I guess. In this case, the mayor has struggled with his relationship. One could say with both MVHS and with the county, but seeing them all working together for a common cause, that's pretty good. I think that's good for the community. All right, Davey, this morning's jackpot is at, this month, we've had a couple of $100 winners. I believe we've had a $300 winner and a $200 winner. Today's jackpot is $500.
Dang.
What caller are you looking for there, Davey? Davey with his mojo on?
Caller 5.
Fifth caller. 5 for each one of the C notes. Fifth caller through the lines, your chance to win $500 from the Hobeika Law Firm right now. Caller 5 at 315-736-0186 on WIBX.
At Mike Carl's, we've cleaned out our warehouses to make room for new arrivals. You save big. 50% off high-end mattresses, plus same-day delivery. Mike Carl's in the backside of the New Hartford Shopping Center.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Call today. Heritage Logging and Tree Removal, your trusted tree removal specialist. With today's extreme weather conditions and new invasive species wreaking havoc on your trees, it's very important to call as soon as you suspect any problems to protect your valuable property and your precious loved ones. Heritage Logging is going to be there to assess your trees and give 24-hour emergency services. For all your tree care needs, call or text today 315-796-2941 or go online to heritagelogging.com and Facebook at Heritage Logging.
Hi, I'm Jill Hayes.
And I'm Scott Hayes from New York Sash.
You know, Scott, saving money feels great.
Oh, no.
And saving 50%? That's just incredible.
What did you buy?
What? Nothing. I'm talking about the New York Sash 50% off sale and how right now, for a limited time, we're offering 50% off the installation on every New York Sash window.
That's right. They're energy efficient, they're beautiful, they come with a lifetime warranty, and they're all on display at our Idea and Design Center, so you can browse at your convenience with no pressure. And if you have questions, we'll be happy to help you choose the perfect windows for your home.
And you can get them installed at half the cost.
Replace one window, two windows, a whole house full of windows, and save 50% on the installation.
It happens once a year and it ends Monday. Get 50% off the installation at New York Sash.
We're open Monday through Saturday, so call us this week or visit our Idea and Design Center on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
And let our family take care of your family.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I'll be relying on you with that, Davey, a little bit. A little bit of help on that one. Today's Friday. And a lot of people thinking about the final week of August. And before we know it, it'll be Labor Day.
Yes, this is the completion of the final
Today's
week
the
in August.
25th, yeah.
This will be the last weekend in
so
August.
So Labor Day is a week from Monday.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. This is just flying. Can you believe it's already August 25th?
I know.
Let me give you a chance to win from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. You know, closing out my portion of the summer with a $500 jackpot with Hobeika's free money question of the day. On the line right now is Kevin in New Hartford. Hello, Kevin. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
You ready to go?
Well, I hope so.
What's your strategy? Everybody's got a strategy.
Guess take a wild guess.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, don't ever go without an answer. That's the key to this. And it's a $500 jackpot from Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. One of the Hobeikas, Joe, not happy this morning because we're going with the $500. But, well, Joe, it's a great way to close out the summer. All right? Let's close it out with a win. For all your legal needs, the Hobeika Law Firm, 315-724-1600. Kevin, here we go with your question. I'm sure you saw it last night, the Trump mugshot. Trump's not the only billionaire with a mugshot. This one had his in 1977. Ready? Go.
Fortunately, I don't know that one.
Well, let's break it down. Let's break down famous billionaires.
Microsoft owner there.
Oh, yeah, Bill Gates. You're absolutely right. Bill Gates. That's the answer. You scared me. I was wondering what you were doing over there. Yeah, your reaction scared me. I was like distracted.
Well, it was the first one he came up with was the correct answer.
Guesses you could come up with. Bill Gates in 1977 was arrested and had a mugshot. Yep. I do think he may not have been a billionaire at the time, but he is a billionaire. So of all the billionaire mugshots, they say prior to yesterday, Bill Gates was the most famous billionaire mugshot ever. And I believe Donald Trump beat that record, knocked him into second place yesterday. So, well, listen, Kevin, that was a tough question and a really good guess when you had the time to think. The Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. It's not $500, but it is a $25 gift card. You're always going to win. Good at the Aquavino in New Hartford, which is wonderful. Babes, we were there yesterday.
Yeah, it was
they
delicious.
do a great job. Taylor and the Cook. Adirondack Bank Center concessions and Nexus concession stands as well. Davey's going to work that with you, and we'll send it to you. So stand by, Kevin. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Bill Gates arrested. What was he arrested for? Do we know? It's probably marijuana or something like that back then.
That's a good question. I don't know why was Bill Gates arrested.
Remember when Nick Nolte got arrested in 2002? He wasn't a billionaire, but
Arrested for running a stop sign and driving without a license.
Wow. He was nerdy. Of course, that's what it was. He was probably working on a computer or something in the car while he was driving.
Arrested in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for running a stop sign and driving without a license. How far we have come.
Yeah.
You would get mugshot and an arrest for driving without a license and running a stop sign.
Yeah.
You can beat somebody with a baseball bat now in New York State.
And not go to jail. Okay, Davey, I want you to introduce this next guest because it's a big deal. And go ahead and intro away.
He is the head football coach down in Hamilton, New York, of the Patriot League Red Raiders, Coach Stan Dusky.
Coach, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We wanted
Coach, Raiders or Red Raiders?
We're the Raiders now.
Raiders,
I
yes.
went to.
Sorry.
I graduated here in 2005, and at some point in my 4 years, I think we transitioned to the Raiders. But a lot of alums still call us the Red Raiders, and but yeah, we're the Colgate Raiders now.
Okay, so let's talk about the upcoming season, and then we want to talk about the passing of your former coach. But let's start with we're just a week away, September 2nd, at the wireless JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse, playing the Orange. What do you think?
It's exciting. I mean, we've been preseason when it starts, it seems like it's going to be a long haul to get through preseason practices, but then you blink an eye and you're closing in on game week, so that part's exciting. And going up there, playing in the Dome, big crowd, Power 5 opponent, it's kind of a ancient rival in the sense of we've played people, and there's pictures of it when we played it without face masks on. It's got some tradition and historic value behind it, but no, our kids are excited. I mean, last year was a tough year for us in the program, but like we talked about all off season, it just made us stronger. It didn't. Where some of the Saturdays were hard, but everything before and after, and then in the off season, we're building this thing up the right way. So we're excited to showcase that, and we got a good crew. It's a tight group. We got a good mix of veterans, guys that have played a lot over the years, that have been through a lot, but also, we played a lot of freshmen last year too. So, and you'll hear some freshman names next weekend. So it's, which is exciting, but they're still freshmen. So, there'll be some bumps along the way there. But no, it's a fun group to coach. They love football and excited about the opportunity on the big stage next weekend.
I do want to come back to playing Syracuse, and you say how far this rivalry goes, how far back. If I am correct, I think you might have played Syracuse when their colors were pink and pea green. That was the original Syracuse colors a long time ago. I don't know why, but it was.
And there's something there, too, with the Red Raider nickname came out with a writer. You could look this up. It's in our history book somewhere, but our O-line coach, Brendan Walsh, is a graduate here. He actually helped write a history book on Colgate, so he's more spot on with this. But a writer way back in the day watching us play a game, our colors that day looked red from where he was sitting watching it, so that kind of that's where the red came from. So I'm not sure if it was against Syracuse or not back in the old stadium, but it's been around for a while, and there's some pictures hanging up around our facilities of what was the old stadium called? Archibald Stadium, maybe. But that's that place being packed, and then last time we played them was, I believe, 2016. We were supposed to play them during the COVID season, but I think that was Coach Baber's actually first game as a Syracuse coach. So it's always been meaningful games, and our basketball team plays every year, and they've done. Coach Langel has got that program skyrocketing, and it's they had some good games against the Cuse the last couple of years. So it's fun. It's fun for the team. It's fun for the whole university here to know that we're this great private school in central New York and can go up and try to take on a powerhouse of an athletic program up at Syracuse.
Yeah. And that's got to be the message to the players. It's like, don't go into these games thinking there's no way to win, obviously. Just look at the basketball team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's what, it's funny when I get asked questions for this game, a lot of times it's like, I'll get asked, what do you want to take away from this game? Like, what do you want to accomplish? But if we're playing, any league opponent, obviously that question is, we're going to win. Our main goal is to win. And that's the same thing for this weekend, and are the things you want to accomplish because it's at a conference and it's the first game and, you got to it's going to be a real showcase of who we are as a team. Yeah, there's things you want to see, benchmarks we want to hit, but ultimately, you know, you go to a game to win the game, and if you lose, you know, it's a disappointment, but you learn from it. If you win, then you celebrate and you learn from it, and then you go. But yeah, so we're excited. You know, our guys, our players, you know, everything that I keep saying, everything that they've been through. You know, the senior class was the first year at Colgate was the COVID year, and then, you know, battling through a lot of stuff as a team the last 2 years. It's you know, and then they walk by trophies and rings every day. They know the tradition here, so there's that real strong, you know, will to get this thing going in the right direction, and it's all there. All the pieces are there now. We just got to get it done on Saturday.
Speaking with Colgate football coach, head coach Stan DeCoste, and talk about the conference this year and some key games that you're going to be keeping your eye on moving forward here. Obviously, every game is a key game, but
yeah, no, our conference it's unique. I mean, we'll have 6 conference games, so it's like every game's a survive and advance in a sense. You know, we have some trophies in our trophy case where you got a 5-1 record. You know, it works out, but most of the time it's got to be the 6-0, and you know, so everyone counts. And we right now, you know, Holy Cross has had, you know, success the last couple of years, and they're going to be the hunted, and Fordham, you know, was in the playoffs last year, and they've done a great job. But there's new coaches at you know, Lehigh, Lafayette coach is in his second year, so the league's in a really good place in a lot of ways. And you know, the depth of our league, I think, especially, you know, this year leading over the next couple of years, is going to be as strong as it's ever been, and that's makes it harder to win the league, but it's great for the conference as a whole. And I think you'll see that when all our schools start playing some of our out of conference opponents, and all that stuff. So yeah, we're here. I mean, there's a standard here. You know, we got our standard to win the Patriot League, and but we also know, you know, it's great to be optimistic, but there's the whole process behind it, and all the coach talk and everything there that we got to keep drilling into our kids. You know, it's a long journey, but no, it's you know, we're excited. I think our first league game is week 4 at Holy Cross. So, you know, they're the defending champs, and we're jumping right into it. So there's no time to wait to get after them.
No time to wait. All right, let us, if we could, speak about Coach Dick Biddle, who led Colgate to 7 Patriot League football championships. Of course, recently passing away. A very sad day for people in Hamilton.
Yeah, no, it was tough. Coach was, you know, he was an icon here, you know, and he's impacted so many players. I mean, there's so many Colgate, you know, former Colgate football players walking around with a Colgate degree in their back pocket that would not have had that if it wasn't for Coach Biddle, you know, recruiting them, or, you know, winning enough titles where now they're looking at Colgate as an exciting option to play their college football. And you know, then when they're here, you know, he was one of a kind, and I say that with a lot of admiration. And you know, he didn't apologize for who he was or how tough he coached, how tough he wanted his players to play. And, you know, so he was, you know, when he was hired here, he was the perfect coach at the perfect time to kind of reignite the football tradition here. And then, you know, for me personally, like he recruited me. He, you know, obviously I played under him, and then I coached under him, and you know, so I got to see all different phases of Coach Biddle in a lot of ways. And you know, so from that part, when it starts sinking in, you know, you kind of have a different look at it through a different lens of, like, you know, I literally, you know, wouldn't be standing here if he didn't walk into my high school many years ago, you know. So that part of it is, you know, it gives you, it's, you know, there's sadness in it, but for how tough Coach was, he would probably yell at us for being sad, suck it up and move on. But no, he was a great coach, you know, huge impact. And our first home game is we're going to recognize our 2003 team. So 20 years of the team that went to the national championship game. We were 15-1 that year, and that was Coach's best team. And so we've been planning that weekend for a while, but, you know, that's going to be a nice little time for, you know, a core group of his core former players to be back and kind of, you know, remember him in their own way and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, the league Coach of the Year award is named after him. You know, we got some things around our stadium to honor him and recognize him. So his impact was felt, and I talk about him all the time, you know, and people walk by his trophy. So he's a great coach. He was a great player. I mean, he should be in the College Football Hall of Fame if you compile all his resume from player and coaching, and that's only a matter of time. So, but it's pretty. We're lucky to be able, from a program standpoint, to attach our name to Dick Biddle. So.
All right, Coach. We wish you the best of luck this season. Look forward to next weekend with at Syracuse, and of course the conference opener happening on September 23rd with Holy Cross. Best of luck this season. We'll talk again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Okay.
Coach Stan DeCoste at Colgate. Good one there, Davey.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, you're a big Colgate fan. You go to games all the time down
Yes,
in
I
Hamilton. Do. In studio right now is Steve Nuno. Steven, hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, Bill.
How you doing? How are you? So I wanted to talk to you. You tweaked my interest because I have a rower.
Okay.
And
You weren't smoking meth, were you? You piqued his interest, not tweaked it.
Well, my interest was tweaked. That's interesting. Yeah. It should be peaked, but it's tweaking. Anyway, here we go. Talk about what this is, and it's a show. Explain the whole thing. There's a lot of mystery out there right now,
and we're going to try to nip that in the butt right now. So what we're doing is there's a lot of 5Ks out there. We almost won a weekend somewhere, more than one a weekend.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that just in general do want to participate in those type of events, but maybe they're not runners. And it could be maybe they're not a runner due to an injury. Could be they've done enough running, or they just don't enjoy running.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come up with another event that would allow for people to train for it, cardiovascular wise, and not have to be a runner. So we came up with the rower. So it's really a first responder contest where we're challenging all first responders in the area, whether that would be paramedics, EMTs, firefighters, police, even in the medical field, nurses, doctors. They're certainly first responders.
Yeah.
To at different distances to work on the concept to rower, and it's kind of a neat concept because you're going to be rowing with other people, but you don't necessarily have to be in contest with or competing with the people that are right next to you. So there'll be a big screen on the wall, and you'll be able to see exactly how you're doing, and the fans that are there watching and supporting you will be able to see how you're doing. And we're going to be giving out awards. However, we're not really turning it into a quote-unquote contest.
Okay.
More of a participation process.
All right. Okay. It's like T-ball. Everybody gets a trophy.
Well, we're not giving out trophies to everyone because I'm not necessarily big on that either. Yeah. But we are giving everyone a T-shirt, so you're not going home empty-handed.
All right, that's cool.
So this is great because you talk about the wear and tear. Rowing really allows you to do a lot of cardiovascular stuff, but without the pounding on the knees and the ankles and the hips and everything else.
You're 100% on the money, and that's exactly why we're doing it. Really, quite honestly, throughout the years, we used to run, Bill and I, and he used to smoke me, and I just was never a good runner.
Back in the
Bill
day.
is actually a very good runner, and he's actually fast. So it was like when we did the Boilermaker together, I was trying to trip him or find something to throw at him because I couldn't keep up. But
it was easy. He just breathed heavy, and I go.
But he took off like a bat out of hell for like the first half a mile. He hung out with me, and he goes, "I can't go this slow. I got to leave you." So he took off, and I was like, "Well, I realized right then and there, running wasn't for me." But really, the rower is a really cool way to train, and it does reduce injury and it's really a total body workout. So from a high impact standpoint, the rower doesn't really cause that. And really, when you're rowing, about 86% of your muscles are being used during rowing. So a lot of times when you're running, except for maybe that kick at the end, you're really not using your upper body too much.
Yeah.
You have a tendency to use a lot of hamstrings, a lot of glutes. There's a high injury rate with knees and ankles. And I'm not against running, but it certainly has a high injury rate. So with the rowers, we thought we could reduce injury a little bit and also let people know that aren't interested in running that, there's other ways to do cardio.
I can tell you because I have a rower. You have a rower as well.
Our rower was inspired by Kevin Spacey, House of Cards. They would always row every night after killing people.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Pushing him into the subway. Let's go home and row.
I remember at one point she says they're preparing to run for, I think, the president, and she goes, "You're getting a little fat. You better get back on the rower."
Yeah. So, and I'll let you go, but before you, so you really believe in the rower is a great exercise.
I am. I've got some knee injuries due to just being 56 now, and I've got some hip injuries. I've had some lower back injuries, so I really can't run even if I wanted to. So I really, about 2 years ago, actually, really, really quickly, about 6 months ago, I had a heart attack.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm doing fine from it, and decided with medical help, the doctor's like, hey, Steve, it wouldn't hurt you to lose some weight.
Yeah.
So I got on the rower. I really row like 7 days a week. One of my days is just kind of a slow cool down day, so I have like 6 intense workouts, but I'm on it every day. No knee impact, no hip impact. So I really love the rower. Truthfully, I love it.
Now I have something that's like an at-home type unit. My biggest issue is that not the restraint. What's the word I'm looking for? The pull. The draft. Yeah, it's not that vigorous. But the concept too. I mean, you can get a whole shoulder, back,
it's really
an ab workout.
It's
just
really an
pulling that
amazing
thing.
workout. It really is. You get the whole posterior chain. You also get the abdominals. You're correct. You're going to get a lot of shoulders, a lot of arms.
Yeah.
And it's a great workout.
All right, so it's basically for first responders, but everybody. We want everybody involved. How do they get involved, and how do they reach out to you?
Okay, well, the first way is they can email me, steve@nuno.com, and that's just STEVE at Nuno, NUNNO.com. You're more than welcome to call me at 315-796-6514. And at noon today, it's going to go live on our website, and the web address will be FR, so it's Frank and then Robert and then Roshow, frroshow.com.
Okay.
And they can jump right on the website.
ROW show?
Yes.
Okay.
Or steve@nuno.com. The number again, 315-796-6514.
Yes.
Got that.
All right, Steve. Good seeing you, man.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Glad you're doing well after the heart
Doing great.
issue.
Everything's going good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, by the way, I brought that rower 5 years ago. I'm excited to start using it for the first time. Maybe it'll be this week. I got a break. News now. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8:03.
Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign reports yesterday taking in $450,000 in donations after Wednesday night's debate. He's been largely self-funding his campaign thus far. Another military base gets a new name.
The Fort A.P. Hill military base has had that name since 1941 when it was established as an Army training facility named for a Confederate commander. But today it will become known as something else. It's being renamed Fort Walker after Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, the first woman surgeon in the Civil War and the only woman awarded the Medal of Honor. The base is one of 9 Army installations recommended by the Department of Defense's Naming Commission slated to be renamed by January 1st, 2024. 2 other Virginia bases that honored the Confederacy have already been renamed. The former Fort Lee is now Fort Gregg Adams, and Fort Pickett is now Fort Barfoot to honor a World War II hero. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
A Pennsylvania woman's facing charges accused of ditching her pet to go on vacation.
Investigators say Allison Lynn Gazer attempted to take her dog with her on a flight to a resort in Mexico. She claimed her French bulldog was an emotional support animal, but the airline said the pup did not meet that criteria. Instead of missing her flight, Gazer abandoned the dog at Pittsburgh International Airport and jetted off to Mexico. Police were waiting for her when she returned. Gazer faces animal cruelty charges. The French bulldog was not harmed and is now with a foster family. Tom Graham, Fox News.
The president of the Spanish Soccer Federation says he will not resign for kissing a player, Jenny Hermoso, on the lips without consent during the Women's World Cup awards ceremony after Spain won the tournament. Hermoso says she did not like that he kissed her, and the players' union says it should not go unpunished. FIFA, soccer's global governing body, has opened a disciplinary case. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 67 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:05. This news update brought to you by Home and Hospital Medical Supplies and Service, carrying a wide selection of home medical equipment. Call them at 315-724-6767 and online at h&hmedicalny.com. Well, we talked with Bob Schofield from MVHS earlier this morning, but the controversy over Utica's Kennedy parking garage is now over. Yesterday, Mayor Robert Palmieri announced the city's Urban Renewal Agency had approved the sale of that parking garage to MVHS for $1.5 million. The board voted unanimously to approve the sale. If finalized, the city says the property will become part of the Wynn Hospital campus. WIBX 950 just spoke with, again, Bob Schofield earlier this morning, It's estimated the garage needs several $1 million of repair work. MVHS had taken issue with the sale of the garage to developer Bauer Development of Syracuse because the Wynn Hospital was in the process at the time of negotiating a lease for parking spaces with the city. Ultimately, though, the deal with Bowers fell through. Governor Kathy Hochul says she is working with the Labor Department to connect migrants with jobs. The governor says the latest effort will allow asylum seekers to immediately start working once they're granted legal work authorization. She also says the move will allow new arrivals to move toward financial independence. Hochul also sent a letter to the Biden administration requesting the president take action to reduce the strain the migrant crisis has put on the state's resources and facilities. One of the most popular bands will perform twice at Saratoga Springs over the next couple of days. Phish is taking the stage at the Broadview stage at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center tonight and tomorrow night. Both of those concerts will serve as a benefit for flood victims in Vermont and upstate New York. And one more here, of course, the New York State Fair going on this weekend. Here's a peek at some of the activities planned. Latin singer Julio Iglesias Jr. on the Chevy Court stage tomorrow evening. On Sunday, Celtic punk band The Prodigals will be on the Chevy Court stage. Also this weekend, the Dinosaur Expedition, a magic show, and a petting zoo. Full details at nysfair.ny.gov. WIBX News Time is coming up on 8:08. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News. We have a chance of some rain showers here this morning, but not a total washout this weekend. Here's Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, risk of a shower early, gradual clearing with another chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, but most of the time it'll be rain-free. A high of 76. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 64. Tomorrow, mix of clouds with some sunshine, breezy. Chance of showers and storms, especially in the afternoon, near 75. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
All right, in sports, we'll move quickly. The Mets were off yesterday. They welcomed the Anaheim Angels to Citi Field for the start of a 3-game series. Yankees lost their rubber match with the Nationals 6-5. Tommy Kahnle blew it in the 8th inning, 2 home runs, a 2-run shot to Alex Call. Then C.J. Abrams followed it up with a solo shot as well. The Yankees have lost 9 of 10. They're 61-66. They head to Florida to open up a series with the Rays in St. Pete starting tonight. The biggest race of the season at Saratoga happens this weekend. It involves the star-studded field as well. You got the winner of the Jim Dandy, Kentucky Derby winner Maj, Preakness Stakes winner National Treasure, Belmont Stakes champion Arcangelo, all in the Travers. Tickets are $30 at the gate, $25 if they are purchased in advance. NFL preseason wraps up this weekend. Giants and Jets will play tomorrow. It's believed Aaron Rodgers will start under center for Gang Green. WIBX News Time is 8:09. Also, NASCAR this weekend. They will be at Daytona for the Coke Zero 400. It's the final race before the chase begins. The NASCAR chase for the Cup begins next weekend.
So I just want you, if you could, I know you did a little background on Syracuse and Colgate battling it out. People might be surprised at the overall record and how long this rivalry goes back.
Yeah, 1891.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Do you still have it up, or have I?
Yeah, no. So it's 1891 was the first time that they played, November 7th, and it was a victory for Colgate, 22-16. In fact, Colgate won 4 of the first 5 meetings between the two, including a game in 1895 that ended 4-0.
Wow.
2 safeties. How about that?
Different game of football back then.
The two teams, correct, this was before the invention of the forward pass. All time, the record is 31-31. There have been 5 ties, but the two teams are dead even at 31-31. Now, I would say don't be deceived by that 31-31. It's not a 50-50 shot when these two teams play. Syracuse has won the last 16 meetings between the two teams. To give you an idea of some of the scores, 52-6, 51-8, 46-6, 71-0, 47-0. A lot of these games that go back to 1950, that win streak, that 16-game win streak, these are brutal blowouts.
Colgate used to be a huge bowl games. I mean, it was a big part of college football. And as the years went on and college programs got bigger and bigger and bigger, by the time you got into the 70s and then through the 70s, these programs were they were like NFL programs. Before the NFL was the NFL, I guess, when you think about it. But, today it's a little bit different. But, hey, look at the Syracuse basketball team. Who would have thought they'd do it twice? Not once, but twice. Crazy. You were talking about the Travers in Saratoga. Let's go to Scott in Kirkville, who's on the line right now. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, guys. What Jeff said, this is it's 7 horses, but you can make a case probably for 4 or 5 to win this race because they're all quality horses. And the interesting part is it's the same distance as the Kentucky Derby, 1.25 miles, which no one knows if a horse can run 1.25 miles until the Derby because most horses don't run that big of a distance as a 3-year-old. And all of them can do it. And that's the crazy part of it is that when you're handicapping this race, it's not like you could probably throw up Disarm in Scotland. Scotland won, and by the way, Scotland won the curling up at Saratoga. That's another big thing, too, is the track's quirky and how many horses have run at Saratoga. Forte won the Jim Dandy up there, and Scotland won the curling, so you know they like the track. The interesting part is Nedge, what you mentioned, won the Kentucky Derby, and Arcangelo won the Belmont. It was the same jockey. Heather Castellano was on both horses. Nedge skipped the Belmont. He chose Arcangelo over Nedge. And so here it is. He chose the horse that won the Belmont, but how many times the Kentucky Derby, you jump off the horse.
Yeah.
And the quirky part is the jockey that was chosen, Luis Sayas, to ride Nedge, fell and broke his collarbone and wrist, so he can't ride the horse. So Fraven Pratt's going to be on the horse, and I believe it's the first time he's going to be on the horse.
Is there a way to win money, like win a big jackpot out of this? A big purse?
There's some long odds.
Probably if the favorite doesn't win it, which is going to be Forte.
Which is 7 to 5.
It's going to be the Kentucky Derby favorite, and he got scratched the day of the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
And he's the one that won the Jim Dandy. Now, he likes he was a 2-year-old champion. He's going to go up 7 to 5. The weather might play a factor, too, because he loves the mud, and so does Arcangelo loves the mud. So the 1 and the 2 is the 2 horses I thought has the best shot of winning. Bafford's got, you mentioned the Preakness, he's got National Treasure. If he's loose on the lead, and Johnny V, who's the most winning jockey at Saratoga, they allow that horse to do what he did in the Preakness. He could probably walk around the track, but my gut feeling is there's going to be enough pace to not let that horse do that. And the 1 and the 2, I think, is the best shots of winning the race, Arcangelo and Forte.
Okay.
So just to give you an idea on the odds, and you can kind of fill this in here, Scott. For instance, Tappet Trice is 12 to 1. National Treasure and Disarm are both 8 to 1. And Scotland is 12 to 1. So what you need is an upset race here. I mean, what I think I'm betting is 3, 4, 5 in a trifecta. Betting 3, 4, 5, you got a 12 to 1, an 8 to 1, and a 4 to 1. That would, I don't know what the payout on that would be, but that's not a bad payout. But if you're betting Forte to win, it's 7 to 5. I mean,
yeah. You're right. You got to basically have him. If you're playing the trifecta, Forte's the best shot. Is probably going to finish in the money. His style. He's going to be coming at the end. So if you hope he finishes third, if you're going to box the trifecta, you don't want him to win. I personally like Arcangelo because, first of all, Castellano chooses the horse. Why would you jump off a Kentucky Derby horse?
Yeah.
And second of all, the way he won the Belmont, I mean, it was super impressive. That was 1.5 miles, by the way, guys. They're only going 1.25 miles. So that's the horse I like. The only problem I got with the horse, for some unknown reason, they didn't run the horse since the Belmont. Every other horse basically has run since then. So that's coming off a layoff. I assume the trainer knows what they're doing, but every other horse basically in the race has run since, in the last couple of months.
All right.
So that's the only question mark I got. But the horse is probably that's my horse. I think it's going on. What do you got at the odds right, Jeff? Now about Arkansas about 2-1, 3-1.
5-2, so 2.5 to 1.
Yeah, 5-2. So at least you get a better value on that. And I think those are the two best there. Tampa Trice, the one you mentioned, it's the weird one because everybody thought the longer the distance, the better the horse is going to be. And Sayas was riding the horse, which he jumped off the horse to ride Medge until he got hurt. That horse could suck in for second and third at a nice price. Can't win the race, but can make your trifecta because it's his style. He's a grinder. He's going to be probably dead last. He's going to make one run. And if the horses on the league get all tired, he can pass those. He might make your trifecta.
Right.
I wouldn't put him on no higher than second.
Travers is tomorrow. It goes off at what, 6:30 tomorrow, 6:40?
Yeah, it's interesting. If you're a horse playing guy,
6:11 or something.
Turn on
6:11.
first Fox 1 or Fox 2 because they have the whole card, and at 3 o'clock, the real Fox channel, the commercial channel is going to have the Travers. So take a look at Fox. I think they start at 3 o'clock.
And you know what? Listen, if you can get away to go, I mean, it's just jam-packed tomorrow, but it's such an awesome town and such an awesome place, especially right here this weekend. So if you can get out there, it's worth making the trip. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, and it's great. It's a great time. It's, like I said, Saratoga, there's stuff to do besides the track. That's why when I go up there, I enjoy everything. Usually stay at Lake George and go to Martha's ice cream place and play some miniature golf and then come into the races and then hang out at night. Sometimes at Saratoga, they usually got special things going on. But it's a great vacation. Oh, by the way, guys, I saw Frankie Avalon at the Bears Den in Niagara Falls, which is a nice getaway vacation if you guys like to go down and do a little casino and music and stuff.
Yeah.
But he, 82 years old, he put on a show. I didn't realize he was 82. I knew he was up there. But for an hour and a half, he played high-energy songs, didn't sit. It was incredible. I wish the Attorney Stone would get him up. I know they had Tom Jones, but, he for a guy 82, his voice is still clear.
Yeah. Well, this is the last time you're going to be seeing these guys. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Scott, great stuff. Thanks for lunch yesterday, too. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And good luck, guys, tomorrow. But like I said, the 1 and the 2 are probably the best chance of winning. But you're right. It's a quality field. And so if you take a shot at some bombs, hey, listen, they could come in, too.
Okay. Good stuff. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Scott in Kirkville. Scott's very dedicated listener of this radio program. However, he doesn't listen anymore. Because he's not an iPhone guy or an Android. He's got the old flip phone. He has none of the stuff. He doesn't have a smart TV at home. Davey, he has no technology, right?
Nope.
I mean, we've been trying to hook him up. He's like, I sometimes I'll drive and get close enough where I can pick you guys up on the radio, but otherwise I just can't seem to figure out how to. It's so easy to watch on YouTube or with the app.
I was going to say, don't tell him how to get onto YouTube because he'll never figure that out.
No, I know.
Well, he used to listen
if
to
you
us.
subscribe, it emails right into your inbox every day. You hit a button and you're done.
It's incredibly easy.
Yeah.
He used to watch us on Fox, and then he told us on yesterday when we were hanging with him that the only listen he could listen when he was in the area.
Yeah. All right.
When you said he's a very dedicated listener,
said he was
who never listens anymore, I thought you were talking about Jim Zecca.
Yeah, that's right.
Now Jim Zecca says he never listens, but he listens every day.
Well, here's the thing. Jim Zecca.
Good morning,
says,
Jim.
Jim says he never listens, but he hears everything we say. Usually, in particular, what I say. So I'll ask him right now, is he coming on the air? He said he's coming on the air.
I haven't actually extended the invite since that meeting, but I certainly will.
All right, coming up, there's a really, if you are looking for somebody to do this weekend, there is a really amazing show. Exhibition. I couldn't grab the word. The exhibition at Munson, which is what we're calling it now, is really something. It's about sporting fashion for the ladies back in the day, and we'll get to that coming up in a second. Joe Lode with his big report out there, the Lode Report. Good morning, Joseph.
Well, good morning, Bill, and thank you for the invite here this morning. And I just wanted to say that if you are looking for something to do and you want to get out of the city, then the town of Steuben is having their old home days this weekend, tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
What do they call it? The old days?
Old home days.
Oh, home days. I thought it was like, we're stressing how old these days are. The old days. The old home days. Okay, that's cool.
I did talk to a couple of ladies yesterday while I was at the Lifted Cup, because that's my morning ritual, and they were making brown bread for the old home days. And, brown bread is like an old kind of traditional thing. You don't see a lot of brown bread these days, so I thought that was kind of exciting,
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, brown, is it just like wheat bread, or is it brown, or is it?
They like there's some of them make the pumpkin bread or the molasses bread, but there's some good old brown bread recipes that it's not white bread, it's not Italian, it's not the sourdough, it's brown bread.
Brown bread.
So it's got a good earthy feel to it.
All right, good stuff, Joe. So listen, it's going to be the weekend. Weather looks pretty good, so there's a lot to do out there.
Sunday's looking like a better day by far.
Really? Okay. Did we lose you, Joe, or you're still there?
No, I'm
right,
still here.
okay.
And, there's all kinds of these little things happening all around, Bill. You just got to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I mean, people always say, there's nothing to do. You can find something to do here in central New York because this is the most beautiful part of the state,
I believe it is. I believe you're absolutely correct. All right, Joe, you have a great weekend. Enjoy it all. By the way, one of these places, are you at the Old Home Days performing, or you're just going up there?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not even going. I wish I could. I would love to go, but I have to work. I got a DJ a wedding Saturday, and
you gotta
I got to make my quota. I'm trying to sell a lot of vehicles this month. So if you're looking for a truck, I got them. I got the brand new 24 Elevations. Just hit the lot last night.
All right, I knew you'd have something there. So, all right, Joe, plug away. Enjoy the weekend.
Just look for the load on Route 12 in Boonville.
All right.
Nimes GMC. Come see me.
All right, Joe. Thank you. Joe Lowe.
Thank you.
What would Joe be without a plug, right? It's impossible. Kathy is all excited this weekend.
Oh, my goodness. Can
Kathy,
we take a commercial break at some point?
Kathy in Rome.
You're going to get me. I'm going to have a Friday afternoon meeting if we don't get out of here.
It's been about 25
I
minutes.
tell you, Bill, it's
good morning, Kathy.
downpouring right now here.
You're getting a downpour where you're at?
No, I'm saying it's downpouring here in Rome.
Okay.
Oh, right. That's, So, go ahead.
I'm going with National Treasure or Tap It. I haven't made up my mind for sure.
I haven't seen the outside since I got here this morning. Is it raining out now?
It is.
Oh, boy. Okay, you're going with National Treasure.
I hope they both come in. Boy,
National
I'll tell
Treasure is a bit of a long shot, right? 10-1, something like that.
Yes, I'll go with, as I say, Treasure, and my husband, he'll probably take Tap It.
Okay, all right. I know you're a big fan. This is a great way to close out the season, right?
Definitely. The only thing it concerns me is the admission fee. I still think it's kind of steep, even though it's,
Will you be up there?
Oh, yeah, I'm leaving first thing tomorrow morning.
All right, well, you enjoy. Do you wear a special hat up there for this?
No, I'm not
hats.
a hat person.
Yeah, me either. Yeah. All right, well, you enjoy it. Have a safe trip, and I hope you win big.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kathy. Heading out to Saratoga. Like Joe said, there's so much to do. You could go to the State Fair. You can go to the old home days. Where was that again? Up north somewhere. You've got Saratoga. I'm sure everybody's got something going on this weekend. Stefan Ribitsky, I know you wanted to plug this morning, Stefan. And my last, before I take a break, go ahead.
Well, hello, Bill, Jeff, and Davey.
Good morning. I know you're excited about the Mets retiring the number of Gooden and Strawberry.
Yes, they're retiring number 16, Gooden, and Strawberry, number 18, and well-deserved.
Yeah.
They were a part of the mid to late 80s teams, which won the 1986 championship game. And last year I did meet Strawberry when he came to Hartsville Inn, and I got his autograph.
Nice,
I
nice.
might try to go next year to Gooden's retirement to try to get his autograph.
Yeah. Boy, it's hard to remember how good both Gooden and Strawberry were. And as Keith Hernandez would say, what a waste of talent, especially Strawberry, ultimately Gooden as well. But that team in '86 had a real drug problem, and it really ate them up terribly.
Yeah, but it also put people in the stands at Old Shea Stadium.
It did
and
do.
hopefully when their numbers get retired, people will show up to Citi Field and support those guys even
All right.
more.
Fair enough. Okay, Stephen, thanks. Enjoy the weekend.
I think for one, if not both, I think actually for the Strawberry one, instead of doing a bobblehead, they're doing a crack pipe. So
okay, that's terrible. Listen, Strawberry is clean as can be, and
Yes.
has now turned religious. He's a very religious guy. Gooden, I don't know. That's been problematic.
Strawberry was just in Syracuse last week doing the
I
thing
saw
for the
that.
Syracuse Mets.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah.
Did I offend somebody now?
I think you might have. Yeah. All right, Stephen. Have a great day, man. Thank you.
Bye, Bill. Have a good weekend.
If it's concrete, it's Brand Construction. If it's concrete driveways, sidewalks, stone walls, block walls, your foundation, a chimney, you need a repair, you need something new construction, retaining walls, if it is concrete. Call today. They have room to squeeze you in here coming up on the end of the summer. Brank Construction, 315-894-3481. 315-894-3481.
Joe
315-894-3481.
Joe was talking.
Sorry.
Joe was talking about old home days in Steuben.
Steuben.
And it's
All
at
right.
the Steuben Town Hall.
Got a break. We'll talk about some old-fashioned days, literally fashion days, when it comes to sports. 1800 to 1960, it's going on now at Munson. That exhibit is worth seeing. We'll talk to them about it coming right up at WIBX.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
Each store independently owned and operated and not part of a chain or cooperative buying group.
You don't need to drive all around. Just come to Santa Cotton Valley, best prices in town. Save on every bottle, every case, every day. Our 40-mile price match backs you all the way.
Picked just for you, only from us. You won't believe the taste of the Boss Prosecco. Don't pay $14.99 because we have the Boss Prosecco on sale for just $9.99. We tasted 3 excellent Bordeaux's and bought the entire barrel. Originally $14.99 to $16.99. We're blowing them out for just $9.99. And for you Cabernet lovers, it's Bound Cabernet from Sonoma's Alexander Valley, and it's priced at just $16.99. All of these deals are while supplies last. Only at Seneca Wine and Liquor in New Hartford and Valley Wine and Liquor in Herkimer.
We're one big family with 2 great stores, ready to save you more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, Trying to find a needle in a haystack? Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting Gallon 25. Rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. And I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. You actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Earn cash back every time you buy gas. Text Gallon 25 to 200-300 for an exclusive link to download the free Upside app and get an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. Cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just text Gallon 25 to 200-300 to download the free Upside app and get an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus. Text the word Gallon 25 to 200-300. Text Gallon 25 to 200-300.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hey, it's the final weeks, the final days of the summer window sale at New York Sash. We took advantage and had windows put. Last year it was the front of the house. This year the back. I love the grids, the raised grids they do with the double hung windows. They're beautiful. It just makes your house add so much character to the home. Right now, everything from windows to patio doors, you're eligible for 50% off installation savings. With professional installation by trained and certified craftsmen, these installers do an incredible job. And it comes with a lifetime warranty. Save on installation right now, and then save on your energy bill all winter long. If you're thinking of new windows to keep your home warm, it is now time to get started. And I'll also tell you that New York Sash windows are an attribute when it comes to selling your home. People will list it in when they describe the home. It's like, and we have brand new New York Sash windows. It's a big deal. Meet with a New York Sash design consultant to have new energy-efficient windows to be installed before the snow falls and get 50% off the installation of new windows. The sale ends soon, though, so stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center in Whitesboro to get started. Open all week till 6 p.m., Saturday tomorrow 9 till 1, or browse anytime online, NewYorkSash.com, and let the New York Sash family take care of your family.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Crazy. Okay, good morning. In studio right now is Mary Murray with Munson, and we're all excited about this exhibit that is happening there now through, what do we say, September what?
17th.
Okay, so, all right, talk about this exhibit. This goes from 1800, I should say, to 1960, and it's women and sporting attire.
That's correct. Sporting Fashion, Outdoor Girls, 1800 to 1960, is a show of 65 costumes that tell the story of women's growing independence through the clothing they wore for outdoor activities. Not all outdoor activities, but sporting activities, which include walking to swimming, horseback riding, mountain climbing. It's really an interesting show.
So, boy, we wore a lot more cloth in those days.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, imagine mountain climbing with a long skirt and a corset and maybe a hat and gloves, of course.
What do you think the women of then would think about if they were fast forward into current times and they were watching, let's say, women's beach volleyball during the Olympics? I mean, there's barely a bathing suit on those
right.
women.
They are bare naked ladies, aren't
Yes,
they? Right,
they are,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, I think that a lot of the women who engaged in the sporting activities would consider themselves ladies. And so the appropriate attire, regardless of what you were doing, if you were walking in the garden or bathing as opposed to swimming, would dictate that you mostly want to cover up because suntan was not a good thing. So
it
they
almost
would
signified a laborer. It did signify
yes,
labor.
Indeed. If you had
Yeah.
suntan, you were an outdoor worker.
Yeah.
That's right. So beach volleyball, maybe not so much.
Yeah, that's right. What's your favorite part of the exhibit? Do you have a favorite?
There are different aspects of it that I admire so much. The craftsmanship, the attention to detail with the fabric, the embroidery, the lace work. And then there are these historical jumps that indicate great, even convulsive historic changes from, say, the Edwardian period before World War I that started in 1914. So if you go from, say, 1915 to 1925, the leap in fashion is extraordinary.
Yeah.
You go from these long skirts to knee-length flappers dresses. So that part is quite interesting.
And then I would think that last 10 years would have been a significant change too,
Indeed,
right?
yes. Indeed, yes.
50 to 60.
That's right. You see lots more trousers, women wearing slacks for horseback riding and aviatrix, and that there are also these stories about women who were pioneers in their fields, like the women who flew planes during World War II. They weren't officially Army members, but they worked for the Army to ferry planes to the soldiers, the Army Air Corps. So it's a lot to admire.
Yeah. Tell me, for those who aren't members, how do you become a member? And if you choose not to become a member, just want to come to the show, talk about that.
The museum is open every day but Monday. Please check munson.art for our hours. There's an admission for non-members, $12 for adults, and I think no admission for children under 12.
Okay.
And there are some discounts and that kind of thing as well. We're also having a really fun closing event, a big deal it sounds like. It's called Fierce Fashionista on Thursday, September 14th at 7 p.m. There'll be a fashion show and there'll be cocktails and also performing gymnasts doing some kind of special dance and performance. So do check all of that out on our website.
And if I always have to plug one of my wife's favorite places to go to lunch.
Yes, thank you.
Patrick is incredible over there.
The Terrace Cafe is open during the week, and I believe on 11 to 3, and I think it's open on Saturdays. I'm not sure about Sundays. No, it's not open on Sundays, but it is a lovely meal and a beautiful setting.
Yeah, you need outdoors, and very nice.
Thank you for that.
Check it out, and of course, you can always go to the website.
That's right. Thanks so much, and it's a really interesting show.
Okay.
Come and see it.
You have until September 17th. All right, great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll break. County executive coming up. He had some news yesterday. He might have had a rumbling of it that was going to happen, but that whole parking garage drama is now over, and as we now entered into a new phase in the relationship between the mayor of Utica, county executive, and the hospital. I think we may have. I hope we have. We'll speak with the county executive coming up next, 8:40 at WIBX.
Mega mattress blowout on now at My Carl's. Twin mattresses from $79, full size from $99, queens from $249, and kings from $349. I even have twin extra long and California king size. Only at My Carl's backside New Hartford Shopping Center.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Insera's. Log on to their website at inserasflooringoutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Insera's Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, inserasflooringoutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Insera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Are you in the market for a vehicle? A vehicle that's like new, but you don't want to break the bank? Look no further than GM-certified pre-owned vehicles at Steet Ponte Chevrolet. With rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on GM-certified vehicles, you can find new roads without the high price tag. Whether it's a Chevy Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, or Traverse, you'll get a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. You can drive with confidence knowing your vehicle is covered. Visit online anytime at SteetPonteChevy.com to browse the complete inventory. Steet Ponte Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer. See why it's always easy to do business at Steet Ponte Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership. Customer must qualify top tier through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery. Must take delivery by August 31st, 2023.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Alfred State University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Alfred State is proud to strengthen our long history of working with unions to create non-traditional pathways for career advances in the skilled trades.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Hey, River Hills Properties, 20 years ago, nobody knew their name. It was just one agent, Robin Monchil, and Bill together creating a new real estate company that would offer services to the area. The concept was we'll be different if we offer all of these extra services that you'll find elsewhere, but not in upstate New York. Just the fact that your listing agent serves as a huge asset from start to finish, that is unique. And the fact that they don't use the lockbox, your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. They come in early, they prep the house, get everything ready to go, make sure the doors unlocked and the lights are on. And if anyone has a question, boy, it just speeds up the process, makes it less stressful for everybody involved. If you're thinking about selling a home, reach out to River Hills Properties. They are different. In Barnaville, Little Falls, and Utica, but serving all of upstate New York. Online 24/7. It's River Hills Properties, LLC.com. Call 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
One more of the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio show is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck, they recently hired an assistant baker, and he says now baristas. We're looking for counter help, part-time and full-time. If you're looking for a job, part or full-time, call Daylight Donuts or stop by and fill out an application. Fresh donuts, fresh bagels every day, and that drive-thru is lightning fast. The coffee is Seattle's best. It is just a cut above the rest. It is so good. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. County Executive Anthony Pacenti on the line right now. Good morning, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know we certainly have the OD spike to talk about. Let's start with that because we won't get to it if we don't talk about it now.
Well, we've had a bad series of a couple weeks regarding overdoses. We issued, I think, is probably the first time in a very long time, if not ever, we issued 2 spike alerts within a 3-day period. It was around the 14th that we did it, from August 11th, I think, to the 13th. There were 9 overdoses, and there was a fatal overdose. And then again on the 17th, or between the 16th and 17th, there were another 5 overdoses reported. And the month of August has had 31, with 1 fatal. And
wow.
The numbers are climbing again, and it's something to be concerned about because of the mixtures of narcotics that are being spread around, methamphetamines and heroin, and of course fentanyl being the real killer, and the other piece of synthetic marijuana being also laced and dealing with this issue. So we're Narcan has been used, and I think all but one of those in that time period. But there's warning signs out there that we have to deal with.
Manaski.
The only thing I'll add to this is the synthetic marijuana, in some cases, in many cases, is being made with, forgive me if I say this wrong, class schedule drugs, like things that will depress your respiratory system, that are prescription medicines. That's a lot of what's causing the overdose. I don't encourage anybody to smoke anything or consume anything that will alter your mind or your physical state. But look, there's enough weed out there, and it's available in enough places where you can just smoke regular weed without doing the synthetic stuff that's laced with who knows what.
Yeah.
Who knows what's in there?
It's either sprayed or, and as you're right, it's sprayed with, the dried marijuana or, shredded material. They can be smoked. It could be sold as a liquid. It could be, in different ways. So there are, these all, synthetic, marijuana, which everybody wants to know what is that? It's human, it's human made, chemical that, just mixes all this stuff and gets sprayed in there or whatever. And even, but even marijuana, Jeff, even, where there is safe marijuana, there's unsafe marijuana, because then some of it's laced with heroin, with fentanyl, with other pieces. So there's still it's a real dangerous time out there with all of this taking place.
There's a market on Oneida Street that was raided by law enforcement. It included the sheriff's office, included the DA's office, included Utica Police. I believe it happened last Friday. But again, there's a crackdown there for the synthetic marijuana. And again, I think you said it well. What's in that? What is that? To be honest with you, even the people who sell it, they can't even tell you what's in there.
Well,
it's scary.
And we're going to be doing some more with some of the smoke shops that have been seemingly popping up like next to each other, and you have to ask the question why. So we'll be doing something with that in the very near future.
Somebody says here they know of a case where a person was Narcaned, the same person 4 times in one day.
That unfortunately that does happen, and then sometimes you're Narcan 2 or 3 times in the single instance of an overdose, until you can regain, and the goal to regain consciousness and not die, obviously. So.
We're speaking with the county executive, Anthony Pacini, day 2 for you here with us. And
I know.
We wanted to get into that. And then, of course, yesterday the news broke on the city's website that they have sold the Kennedy parking garage. And it turns out the buyer is the hospital, MVHS. Surprised by this? I'm sure you had to know this was going on. This negotiation?
Well, I mean, when the other deal fell through, I've been in conversation with the hospital, as we are regularly, and they had said they were going to, express interest in the purchase. So I knew that it was coming down, and I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that that had always been a part of the plan, and now it can be even a bigger part of the plan in terms of it, because you're never. Everybody that knows that goes to hospitals, that's the number one complaint in any hospital system anywhere, and especially in the downtown area that you need adequate parking, and you need adequate parking for the staff and for the visitors. So I'm pleased that it worked out that way. It's a little, it's after the fact of what we've invested in the new one, but at the end of the day, we'll have adequate parking, not just for the hospital, but also publicly for the Aud, which was what, and Nexus and other things downtown, which was part of the plan too. So,
Andy, you have parking now that's closer to the medical office buildings.
Well, you do, and you still have one issue that's got to be resolved there, but at the same time, so you can use up the new garage could be because it's in closer proximity to the medical office building. Kennedy can really absorb. I believe, and I haven't we haven't talked real details. Can absorb a lot of the staffing at MVHS, which will alleviate the new garage's need for employee parking. I mean, I think we can balance those off a lot easier now.
Okay, and speaking of the Bob Schofield from MVHS this morning, he feels that the relationship, the relationship between the hospital and with the mayor and the mayor's office, he feels is at a new level of positivity that is moving forward. Do you feel the same?
Well, if Bob says that, I have to agree. I'll take Bob's word for it. I think, obviously this shows that, they've come around and it's never been good for anybody that, we've been, at different stages in this process for something that is so beneficial and essential to this community. So I'm just glad that, look, the other stuff is behind us. We've got a couple months, to go to open this up and then, the parking situation. So, it's we should be celebrating what we're doing and what's happening as opposed to what didn't happen.
County Executive Anthony Pacini, thank you for the time. And
no problem.
That news was really surprising news yesterday. It was a long time coming.
Well, yeah, it was, and especially given the experience before. So
all right. All right. Well, enjoy the weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.
You too. Okay, guys. Take care.
Tony Pacini, the United County Executive. You wanted me to keep moving here and give you a good long break at the end.
Can we come back to wrap up the show?
I can. I want
a short break.
Throw out two quick breaking news items. Russia has now officially come out and said it is an absolute lie. We had nothing to do with that plane crash that killed the head of the Wagner Group. Nothing. Do you believe it? Absolutely not. It exploded in midair. What do you think happened? We had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I guess the only question, and this might already be resolved, I just haven't followed this particular story, but did they shoot it down or did they plant a device on it?
That is a lie. How could you imply such a thing? And finally, breaking news, Hawaii has released the names of 388 people who are still unaccounted for. You can expect that death toll will rise to over 500 when this is all said and done. Terrible. Got a break, and we'll wrap it up here. Coming right up at WYBX.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information for young families. If you have young children, you face unique challenges that must be addressed when considering your estate planning. Well, they, of course, have issues related to who will take care of and raise their children when they die. In addition, they have to have concerns about how the assets are maintained and managed after their death. They need to utilize trusts, and of course, they need to have life insurance to protect their children for future costs. Blended families face unique circumstances and legal issues that must be considered with their estate planning. How do we make sure that all of the children from both families receive some sort of inheritance? Oftentimes, we'll use very special techniques in our wills, or we'll use IRAs or life insurance to make sure they receive an inheritance. They are all very special challenges. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hi, it's Jordan from Little Falls Lumber. Summer is a great time to freshen up the look of your home, and we have you covered. We stock a variety of name brand products from GAF shingles, LP vinyl siding, Sierra Pacific windows, to Moisture Shield composite decking, and premium grade pressure treated decking. We have options to fit any budget. Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations, Little Falls, Syracuse, and Schenectady, to see what we have in store, or visit us at littlefallslumber.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
You want me to go right to the top?
Yeah, you can.
All right. I have a bunch to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that another Guinness record has been broken. Are you excited about this?
No.
The world's longest meat stick has been invented and created. And it is official. It is a Guinness record. How long do you think the world's longest meat stick is?
Meat stick? What are they talking about?
Yeah,
How many things
is
meat is on it?
A meat stick is, for instance, a Slim Jim.
Oh, okay. I like Slim Jims.
In fact, Slim Jim made this meat stick.
I always goof this up. I'm gonna say it's in, 40 feet.
The world's largest meat stick is 314 feet.
What?
Yep. That's a biggie.
That's a football field.
Yeah. It's kind of what the Wisconsin company...
It's 100-plus yards.
Wenzel Farms just cooked up and achieved a Guinness World Record. There wasn't one on record. This is a new record. Can you imagine the people at Guinness like, oh, yes, meat stick. Let's do the largest. And they came out with the largest. It's 314 feet. All they had to do was make it 13 feet, and it would have been a record. But they were able to go even longer, and it's now the record is 314 feet. The Slim Jim.
That's cool.
I do like the Slim Jims.
It was actually Slim Jim that made it?
No, it looks like Wenzel's made it.
Oh, Wenzel's, okay.
Do they make the Slim Jim? I have no idea. Mike, a couple of comments. Says, it's so funny you were talking about rowing with Steve Nuno earlier this morning while I was rowing. That's pretty cool. That's nice, huh? And then he said, I had to laugh when you were doing the Russia story, saying that had nothing to do with it. You almost sounded a bit like Bill Clinton when he was saying I did not have sex with that woman.
Sexual relations.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, relations. Right, you wouldn't.
Because I don't think they had, quote unquote, do I want to go down this road?
Probably not. Feel free.
I don't think they had intercourse. I think they had...
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
With that woman.
I mean, look at Hillary.
I know. It would have been more factual if he said it about Hillary.
It would have. And we'll leave it at that. I believe we should. Yeah. Listen, right now, Steve Ponte Mazda is the Move to Mazda sales event, and I drive a Mazda. I love the CX-9. And Ricky Z says you should, too. Come check it out. 2.9% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-30, CX-5s, and CX-50s. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-9s. The Move to Mazda sales event from the dealership that's number one in customer satisfaction. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive, Yorkville.
This will make some in our audience very happy. Chris sent this to me just now. I was not involved with my son's business dealings is the new I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
It may very well be. Hey, I'm on vacation for a week. Please enjoy. Jeff will be live next week. WIBX Utica Rome, and Davey as well. WIBX Utica Rome, it's 9 o'clock.
Trump tells Fox News Digital about having his mugshot taken during his arrest on election conspiracy charges in Atlanta, saying they insisted and he agreed.
The visage of former President Trump scowling at a jail camera in Fulton County, Georgia, was released by jail authorities and then posted online by Mr. Trump above the caption, "Never Surrender." The first ever mugshot of a former U.S. president is an instant viral sensation. It also marks the former president's return to Twitter, now known as X, for the first time since he left office. The post includes a link to the Trump campaign website, which is already offering mugshot merchandise. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
The number of people considered missing in the Hawaii wildfires is cut from more than 1,000 to 388 on what's being called a validated list released by Maui County.
We know that it will help with the investigation.
But Police Chief John Pelletier says he also knows publishing the names could cause some distress. It's confirmed the mass shooter at a biker bar in California is a retired cop upset about his pending divorce.
Orange County Sheriff Don Barnes says 59-year-old John Snolling, a retired Ventura police sergeant who fatally